Hello, Internet people. I'm Nick.
I'm Josiah.
We're friends.
We're playing Marvel Rivals.
We're friends and rivals. Hello, everyone. It is episode 19 of Friends and Rivals and Marvel Rivals podcast.
Dang, bro.
And 19. And tiny bit of news today. And then we're going to continue on our series of ultimate roles and sub roles we were doing before season 2.5 came out. And we're going to talk about Duelist Ults today for that one.
Yeah.
And then we got some Battle Matrix Armed and Dangerous. And to the surprise of no one, Josiah is bringing us an Ultron Hero Spotlight.
Oh, baby. I can't wait. I hope y'all are ready.
Yeah, and then to wrap it up, of course, we got the Reddit Take of the Week, which is going to be a series of a bunch of Reddit Takes of the Week, and I'm excited for them.
It'll be good.
Josiah, how are you doing?
Well, it's been 7 days since I've finished Claire Obscure Expedition 33, and not a day has gone by when I have not thought about it for a long time. I don't know. I don't know that you're ready, man. I know you're
time to do it right now.
I know. But like, man, I can't think of the last time a piece of media has like messed with me, like a piece of art has like messed with me so much, which just speaks volumes of how well it's constructed.
I'm afraid because when this happens for you, either it's gonna happen for me too, but I'm more afraid that I'm gonna play the game and I'm gonna be like, wait, what happened here? I don't understand.
Oh, I don't think you're like, I don't think you would have that reaction. I just worry that you might hate it. It's not like I love Dark Souls and Bloodborne and like, you know, I like horror things and like creepy things. It's not like that. There is like a teeny bit of that in there. It's just more, I don't know. We like in our multi-year best friendship, like we've never like experienced something like what that game is together in a way that like, yeah, it's because like we don't watch a lot of the movies and like read a lot of the same books and stuff like fiction wise. Mm-hmm. And so we like miss each other with like those kinds of things. So it would be, I'm trying not to like really say anything. I'm trying to like talk around the kinds of topics I'm talking about. Yeah,
I'm just worried because it, like you were talking about it being like super philosophical last time, right? And that could go one of two ways with us. Either I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a super well done exploration of this, and like I want to talk to you about it forever. Or I'm gonna be like, well, that was dumb. Like, what a terrible idea. And then like feel awkward because we can't talk about it, you know?
No, you wouldn't think it was dumb. There's no chance you'd think it was dumb. I don't think there's any chance you'd think it was dumb. I think it would be very interesting.
Well, cool.
You eventually try it for sure.
Yeah, eventually I want to play it. I just it probably won't be until I move. But
anyway, this is not a Expedition 33 podcast.
No.
But how are you?
Well, you know what? I'm good. I saw 2 ambulances this week, and both of them had ambulance written backwards on the head.
Bringing this back. You know what? Start over. I'm not taking this, okay? This bit is done.
It's not, though. You were so strong on they don't exist in California, and I just saw 2 this week without even trying. No, this week, honestly, I've been playing very little Rivals and a lot of Battle Matrix. So,
yeah, I know.
I already played my 10 games.
Yeah.
I think I'm at like 14 games now.
That's freaking nuts.
Been in the top 2 for like all but 3 of them, I think.
Congratulations, you've played 14 hours of Battle Matrix Protocol.
7, thank you. They're like half an hour. And I think I'm like 150 points away from getting that Ultron emoji. So I'm very close.
Wait, all that and you're not there?
Yeah, I mean you get like 200 points if you get first place. And it starts you at 1,000.
Yeah.
If you got first place 5 times, you'd get it. But like you lose points when you're in the bottom 3, and whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But I mean, for being a weekend, like I'll get it tonight probably, to be honest. Yeah. That emoji is pretty sick though. I do have that the thumbs up one, which is nice.
I didn't realize that the other emoji is freaking invincible. It's an invincible reference.
Oh, nice.
He's doing the J.K. Simmons Omni-Man like can you not see what it takes to capture just a fraction of our power? Yeah, I like hovered over the animated part of it today, and I realized that he was like pointing to his eyes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, amazing! Those are 2 very well done memes in those emojis. Means that
I love how many memes they work into this game. Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's never obstructive, but it's always like chef's kiss, like just right there.
Right. I Jeff's kiss. I know you said chef's kiss, but it sounded like Jeff's kiss, and I'm gonna say that from now on. It's just Jeff's kiss. I'm a little scared now because I don't know that I was expecting to play 14 games. Not that I don't like it. I actually really like it. I mean, we just played it, and I was talking about how I really like it. I just didn't expect it to be so long. I want it to be half as long. I
should have given everyone a heads up last week that it was likely to be that long, but I had forgotten because it's been a while. It's been a while since I had played a game in that genre, and all of them are like 45 minutes long.
Well, we were speculating last week, and I was saying like, oh yeah, on the video it was like they showed at least 3 check marks, so I'm like, maybe it's best of 3.
Yeah, no.
Finishing my first game at 27 rounds.
Yeah, that's where I should like the light should have gone on in my head and so you go, oh wait, no. This is like a building and upgrade. This is a game we're gonna talk about sub rolls today, where I got the engine thing. This is an engine game. Like this is you're building your engine like most of this game. And that requires long periods of time.
Right.
But I do think, and we'll probably talk about this in the Reddit take, but I do think that there are ways that they could speed it up, like adding some ready up options. Because there's a lot of times where I'm skipping through, like you can, if you look on the right and click on other people's names, you can see what they're doing. And I see a lot of times where like everyone's kind of just sitting there,
just
chilling, there's like 15 seconds left, and we're all saving.
Right.
We're not spending money, so we're all just sitting here.
The 2 teams of 6 strategists are just war of attritioning it out, not killing anyone.
Yeah. Thank goodness they have the like, okay, it's been long enough. We're just gonna give it to whoever has the most health or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But good mode. Obviously it's not for everyone, and we kind of knew that going in. But that's kind of what I've seen this week is a whole bunch of. There's people like me and TDT who have just been like, this is the greatest thing to ever happen.
Oh, TDT's really into it? Nice.
He's been playing a whole bunch of it. Yeah, he's been doing streams and like showing builds and giving guides on how to do it. And then there's a loud group of people on the Reddit too and on Twitter and stuff saying like, this is so dumb. Why do you make me play 10 of these? It's way too long and it's boring. So it's a completely different audience than a hero shooter. So
I will say I'm not saying there isn't that. I haven't seen a whole lot of negativity around it. Like when I started looking it up, like just on the Reddit, things about the battle protocol, most people were just like, yeah, I've played like 50 hours already and like here's my takes, people who seem to enjoy it, like have very few complaints about it, it seems, which is very impressive for this just being like a random thing,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I'm super impressed with it.
for first attempt at a game that's in a completely different genre than the one they're making, like it's a pretty good, like I would say it's a really good like alpha beta of that type of game.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
there's certain things that they did that were different than other ones that like I don't
Mm,
think were improvements, but I honestly like I really love a lot of like the Rivals flavor that they gave to things, and seeing
yeah.
even like seeing like Rocket's revives and Adam's revives and
Dear
a lot
God.
of the different ults in like a really different context has been pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it is. And for me who has no context with like an auto chess or auto battler games, like I've never played one ever. Um, it's fun. I like it. Like I said, I think it was just a shock that it was like
Yeah.
I was like 20 games in and I looked at the scoreboard and I'm like, oh, there's still like a while left.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I could have prepared you better for that. I'm sorry. But I
Yeah,
forgot because it had been a while since I'd played Hearthstone and played Battlegrounds. But
it's all good. But we should probably prepare our listeners for some upcoming news. What do you think?
yeah, let's go to it. All right, so we didn't have to wait long from the combat chest showing off the Future Foundation skins because we got Invisible Woman and the Thing's Future Foundation skins this week.
I don't even care, man. I don't even care. You know what we have
Hey,
had to wait long for? Yeah, what rhymes with long, Nick? Let's see. Let's think of some things. Song, gong, bong. Sorry, family episode.
it's long.
It's thong, isn't it?
That's what you're looking for, yeah.
Where the frick is it, bro?
Where's your thong?
Where's my thong?
You know, I hate to break it to you, but I think our only hope for the thong at this point is that rumored swimsuit edition, like
Dog.
summer skin set, because
Dog.
like they're giving us a Thing skin this week, which means they're probably not going to give us another Thing skin for a while. I
mean,
haven't seen them give any pretty close to back, right?
it's cool, I guess.
But it's pretty crazy that they gave us the other three beach skins from that panel and didn't give us the Thing.
Yeah, freaking cowards. We'll get into that in a second with our podcast patch notes. I have something else to say about why. But
Okay.
anyway, I'm not gonna steal. I'm gonna. I say like the kid who says "just kidding" after he hits you. I'm not gonna steal the thunder away from my thing, bros who really like this costume. It is very cool.
I say that, yeah, this is
Yeah.
actually what we are getting is super cool. The Thing one in particular. Did you see the emote? What the emotes do?
No. What?
The emotes, the Thing stomps on the ground with a rock or whatever. I think
Mm-hmm.
Invisible Woman goes invisible really quick, and then when they come back, their outfits invert colors.
Oh,
They
the
showed it in the preview video. Yeah.
Mr. Fantastics does that too.
Oh, it does?
When he stretches, when he like unstretches himself, the black and white are inverted. Yeah.
I have to admit, I still haven't played him, even though I got the skin, and I said that
Yeah.
was gonna make me play him. I still haven't
I
done it,
know.
but yeah. So like, apparently,
too.
all of these skins are gonna do that now, and that is
Yeah.
super cool.
That
These
is
look
really cool.
really cool when they're in black with a
Yeah.
little bit of white trim.
Yeah, that's super cool. We're one step closer to something that I'm a total freaking sucker whale for, which is the like transitionary, like uber legendary skins and things like that in games, like the reactive skins. That's what they're called. Like as you get kills, the weapon like heats up and changes and stuff. Like Overwatch 2 finally brought those in, and Overwatch's art team is ridiculous. So of course they're amazing looking, but like I hope we get some cool stuff like that in here.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first thing we've seen where the skin changes in game based on an emote. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never seen that in any game ever, honestly.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the skin for the Thing is super cool, and I'm gonna be very tempted to get it, but not this season when we can't really play the Thing that much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait until like I actually have a
Wow.
chance to play him. Probably the Invisible Woman one is really cool too, especially when it inverts to black. But I'm not seeing the hexagon pirate puffy shirt sleeves. Like I don't know. So
That's one way to put it.
It's a choice, and I don't think it's a choice I
like
would gonna
naval,
buy.
like naval admiral kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's like a Star Trek admiral that
Yeah,
wanted puffy sleeves. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like her ranked skin so much. I'm
Yeah, me
probably never
too.
gonna change that. The white hair with the blood tips
Yeah.
and yeah, super cool.
But
But
anyway, yeah.
also really cool is happy almost 616 day. We're getting in honor of Canon Earth for the Marvel Universe on 616 Day, we're getting a re-release of 6 of the most popular skins from Season 0. So, very cool. We got Groot, Hawkeye, Magic, Rocket, Captain America, and Venom. And a lot of people I know have really wanted that Venom skin. I think that's the one that I've seen the most hype for.
That was
That
the one that
Glacier
started
Venom.
it all. That was the one that
Yeah,
started the butt cheeks.
yeah. That's when they knew. Yeah, you notice here, there's no simping with any of these skins, but they saw the reaction to the cheeks on Venom, and they were like, "Wait a second,
Let's release Invisible Woman and Emma
yeah,
Frost
yeah,
ASAP. Yeah.
exactly." But no, these are super cool. I really don't care at all about the winter ones, but I love all of the other three. The Cyber Captain America and Hawkeye, the Glacier Venom. I guess that is a winter skin.
Yeah, it's winter. Yeah.
But it just doesn't feel like it. Feels like crazy ice monster, but yeah, very cool.
It is kind of strange to get Christmas skins back in June, but I guess Christmas and June
Yeah,
thing going on. But I mean, if you think about it, these are like the only skins that have gone out of circulation that they can bring back for this.
right,
So
right.
future years will probably get a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
more
sure.
options of things coming back. But man, if you wanted that Hawkeye or that Captain America in particular, like this is great.
Dude, I can't wait to see season skins though, like holiday skins. I hope like those were always some of the best in Overwatch. Like I would save all of my currency every year for Halloween because Halloween would always come out with the dopest skins. I hope that they do stuff like that in this
I mean,
game.
I feel like we just saw that last season, and then we had Christmas ones here, right? So we've
Yeah,
seen a little bit of it.
but I mean, it was very like gothic Halloween themed, but it wasn't for Halloween, you know.
Yeah. No,
I'm
they'll go
wondering
all
if
out
they'll,
for that.
yeah, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, and then the last thing we have patch notes for a patch coming up on the 10th.
We sure do.
No, sorry. The patch notes were released on the 10th.
Yeah,
The
for
patch is
6/12.
actually coming out on the 12th.
Yeah, it'll be
Which
live
should
by the
be
time you hear.
the day the episode's coming out. Honestly, there's not much in this. The first thing on here is just telling you about the 616 day vault thing that we just told you about. But those skins will be available from the 13th to the 20th. Then we have the Invisible Woman and Things skins available on the 13th. And then we just have some bug fixes. Doctor Strange couldn't use emotes in Doom Match. That's incredibly weird, and I'm very curious of why that was a thing. I wish I could look at their code. They fixed if you're a support main, they fixed Trusty Sidekick and Gifted Healer stats in the new like custom stats you could put on your career page. They weren't counting them correctly, so they fixed that. And then yeah, there's just some things like errors displaying your highest rank if you're in Eternity, inconsistent in-game friend status updates. Like it's a lot of very small changes that aren't really gameplay related, except for Hero Ban wasn't working every once in a while, which seems weird.
Yeah.
And then they just have a couple hero bug fixes from weird in-game bugs, but
I would have loved to have seen that Jeff one though. Jeff getting his sound barrier breaking super speed from the team up.
I just want to know if it was like he launched out of the hurricane or if he just was super fast once it was over.
Right.
Like which way was that?
Right.
Yeah.
I need footage stat.
Yeah, also apparently Moon Knight could throw an Ankh right onto Winter Soldier right while he was ulting and just cancel his ult, which
just boing right
great
out
tech.
of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange portals could sometimes end up in the spawn
In
room.
the spawn room. I like that they don't specify which. I'm really hoping that it's the enemy spawn room and that you can just like walk in there and.
Can you imagine if you could just break out of the spawn room before the game even starts as Doctor Strange? Like
capping the point and they're like, wait, what? That'd be amazing.
Never mind. I read you all of the patch changes. That is everything. So as always, I got to give this patch a rating, and we did not see the terrain update thing. So on a scale of rotten pumpernickel to homemade French, I give this patch a solid toasted rye.
Huh? Yeah. Okay.
Make of that what you will. I don't know where that is on that scale for you, but for me, it's toasted rye.
Well, now that we're done with the patch notes, why don't we go over the patch notes of the podcast?
Okay.
Yeah, leave that in.
Silence for like 20 seconds.
Okay. All right, my turn to be free sound effects guy. 2 minutes on the clock, and here we go. All right, so kind of tying back into the Thing skin, they won't release the thong because they don't want to give us the naked dudes. All right, that's what's going on here. Have you heard?
More?
As I die, nah, man. That's an exception. That's some weird freak exception to the rule. I was talking about how much I liked the Weapon X skin for Wolverine last week. Well, little did I know what was coming down the Reddit pipeline. Have you seen?
No.
That people were so freaking pissed about it, posting all of these things. They're like, in every single comic and in every game and every iteration of this skin, he's got no pants on or really, really short shorts on. And they freaking dropped his shorts down to his knees, dog. You don't even get to see any thigh action. And I'm like, dang, man, that's messed up. They're gonna give us full cheek on an Invisible Woman, and not even a ripple of muscle on Wolverine's thigh. Like, yeah, they're too scared to give us the thong. They don't know what they wouldn't be able to handle what would happen to the player base at that point.
I'm glad that this is your hill you're dying on and not mine. Thank you for taking up that mantle. So I don't have to be anywhere.
You're welcome. The digital male figure, everyone. At least the new Magneto skin has some strong thigh action. Well, I have 20 seconds left now, so I don't really know what else I'm going to cover. But Cool Guy, there's one of my other ones. Cool Guy,
don't steal my thing.
No, is it in here? No, you don't even have it written. It's mine. Cool Guy, who we've referenced many times.
You don't have anything written.
Just came out with a Jeff video that the title is Jeff didn't get nerfed. He got a massive buff, and here's how to play him. So anyway,
and he's right.
I can't wait to watch it and see.
All right, let's transition to my 2 minutes. Yeah, Cool Guy released a Jeff video saying that he didn't get him nerfed. He got a massive buff. And he's right. I watched the video. I've been playing Jeff. Jeff is so fun, and he's great, and he's gross. And it's good. It's good. You just have to give it a chance. And you have to play differently. You can't try to right-click your way to victory anymore.
Right.
You left-click your way to victory. It's completely different.
Yeah. Give that index finger some love.
I teased at the end of last episode that realizing that he kind of plays like Scarlet Witch now, I might end up being a Jeff main. And I, you know what? After playing Jeff a bunch today, I'm still going to try to get Lord on Invisible Woman, but Jeff is going to be the other strategist I'm playing a whole bunch.
Dang,
he
man.
is very fun now. Very powerful healing with just doing a bunch of damage. At one point in the video, he highlights that Luna does, with her bonus healing she gets from her snowflake and everything, she can do, it was like 286 healing a second, right? Which is like kind of some of the fastest in the game, but it's chunked up. And then he showed on Jeff's side, when Jeff hits someone with a bubble and then does the left click on them, he can do No, sorry, she was 186 a second. He can do like 183, but he's also doing 70 damage to any enemy that it hits at the same time. And it's smooth. So it's smooth healing all the way up instead of chunks. So there's nowhere for them to like get hit by something and they haven't received the healing yet, right? So he is pretty nasty now. It's just people have to get used to playing him completely different positioning, everything. Okay, Anyway, speaking of Luna, so last week we said we were going to patch notes this, so I did. So I went to the practice range and I did absolutely everything I could to see if her absolute zero actually had a way of hitting more than one person.
Oh, nice.
And I could not find one. So unless I'm missing something massive, like I turned the cooldown off and turned all of the practice range bots on running around randomly to get them close to each other.
How freaking
and
weird.
Just chucked it a whole bunch. And I only ever hit one at a time, even if they were standing on top of each other. So unless I'm missing something massive, that note about getting 50 bonus health per character hit was just a really weird way to say that she gets 50 bonus health if she hits someone with it. Because she does not get it if you use the ability and she doesn't hit the person.
Really? You don't?
Or maybe no. And so that's
what you did.
That's what and also I watched a side by side. Cozy has a side by side of all of the changes every season. And she did not get any sort of healing from Absolute Zero in 2.0 and before. So it's new. You have to hit someone to get that 50. But I mean, I guess maybe it's coded in a way where if somehow they make a change with the team up or something in the future to let her hit more than one person with it, she'll get more than 50 from it. But as of now, it's kind of a pointless stat to have on it because it just hits one person. So
yeah, very weird.
Maybe there's a Luna main out there who's found the secret, forbidden jitsu and knows how to do it. And if so, please leave us a comment or even, just throw it on a 5-star review for no reason. And it'll be easy to see that way, I guess.
Yeah,
and let us know why we're wrong about Luna.
Tell us about the forbidden jitsu, everybody.
Shut up.
Hey, why don't you just shut it, all right?
Shut it. All right, why don't we just shut up right into the main topic?
Let's All right, so we've had a 2-week break, so a brief recap on what we're doing. We are, just like we did with the heroes and their sub-roles, we have created sub-roles, roles and sub-roles for all of the ultimates in the game. And the purpose of this exercise is to kind of do the same thing, hopefully, that we hope happened with the hero roles and sub roles, which is to just kind of like open up your mind a little bit about how you think about these ultimates, how they play into the game, how they work into each match, and how you should be using them in general. So what we did is we came up with 4 primary roles and then 2 sub roles per role, with 1 special unique game changer subcategory on its own. So the roles are as follow. We have control with the sub roles of crowd control and area denial. We have destroy with the sub roles of AoE kills and serial kills. We have enhance with the sub roles of engine and buff/debuff. And then we have survive with the sub roles of defensive and returning fan favorite, big circle, die. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the duelists this episode, and we're going to assign each of them a main role and a secondary role, with some additional sub roles too, because every ultimate does fit into a main and a sub, but there can be some tertiary functions of each one of these ultimates as well. So yeah, that's where we are. Nick, you anything else to say about that, or you want to just kick it off with the duelists?
Well, I mean, I realized that Ultron now has kind of ruined the survive ones because he's not a big circle die, but he is a die, but it's not a big circle anymore. So they got creative and ruined my fun. So I mean that one just represents
technically there's
healing,
a spherical spell field with it.
Maybe, little circle die. Yeah. Anyway, but that's a problem for future Nick and Josiah next week. So we'll let those guys worry about it. Yeah, no, I mean that works for me. Let's just hop into the duelists, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with Black Panther. So we have Black Panther listed with his main role as being an enhance and his secondary being destroy. And that's because his sub roles that this falls into are engine and AoE kills. Honestly, like we made little like paragons of each type of class, and the paragon for engine was Black Panther. So
Yeah.
when you're trying to explain what the engine sub role means, it, just as a refresher, because we haven't talked about this one yet, this episode, the engine is kind of like you're building up and just kind of continuing on what it is that your character is trying to do in general. Usually like furthering the resources that they have, extending their capability to, keep doing whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And in Black Panther's case, he's specifically putting those vibranium marks on a whole bunch of people, resetting his dash. It's all just tied into continuing his chain of nonsense further on. So he's kind of the pinnacle of like, or the example of like what an engine ult is. Like, you're not using this to kill the entire team. You're using this to like make Black Panther really nasty for a little while.
Right. Yeah. I think just as like Venom is the pinnacle of engine for the Vanguards, like it makes sense to think of Black Panther in that same way. And that's why we have him as his main role is enhance, not destroy, for the exact same reasons. Like you can get kills with Bast, but like Nick is saying, if you're thinking of his ult, I'm just gonna spoiler and call out Iron Man here. If you're thinking of his ult as an Iron Man, like, all right, I just gotta like get to the enemy team, hit Q, and then kill everybody. Like you're gonna get no value out of it, and you're gonna walk away with my first initial experience of his ult, which is like, it just kind of sucks.
Kind of didn't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But once you recognize, oh, wait, it's putting vibranium marks on everything. Okay, it's doing some pretty nasty chip damage. Okay, now I can freaking drive straight through the entire enemy team and throat kick them all and get my AoE kills, which is his second sub role for this that we've assigned for this ult. Like,
rather than directly killing people, what it's doing is setting up Black Panther to run through the enemy team and be able to kill the whole team, but it's doing it indirectly by setting him up rather than doing the damage itself.
Exactly. Well, that was the first one. We may not be able to spend as much time on every single Duelist, but
no, but that one's a little
good setup.
A little bit hard to explain.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have to re-explain, each of the sub roles as we go. So the first time will take a little bit longer.
Hopefully you don't mind. Moving on to Black Widow, the girl that I love to dunk on, but I did leave a little tidbit in the last episode, if you heard, that I've actually been playing quite a bit of her, and I've already shouted out Cool Guy once. Dang it, I'm a freaking do it again. Like, Cool Guy changed my perspective on Black Widow's potential.
He changes my perspective on literally every character that of.
Yeah, no, it's true. He does. I still don't think she's amazing, but like
no.
But I think I actually have a lot of fun with her.
Yeah.
And anyway, so her ultimate. We have the main role as Control and the secondary role as Destroy, with sub role 1 being Engine, sub role 2 being AoE kills. So I'm sorry. Sub role 1 being Area Denial, sub role 2 being Buff Debuff, sub role 3 being AoE kills. My eyes read the wrong line. So the reason why it's Control rather than Destroy is because again, just like with Black Panther's ult, you can get kills with this. If heroes are low, if you've got squishies grouped up and you launch her pulse rifle blast, like, you can kill them. But really what it is you're setting up by slowing everybody down, by doing some damage, and by proccing vulnerability on everyone that you hit. What you're doing is you're setting them all up to now be one-click instant killed by your primary rifle, your primary click. So
have just a massively unfair fight against the rest of your team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Now they're all slow, damaged, and vulnerable. So you don't even need to necessarily get the kills to set up your team to wipe them, which is which is really is more value than I gave it credit for. I have it as, I think we agreed on this. We have this as F. It's the only ultimate on our ultimate tier list that we put in F. I definitely take that back.
Yeah, me too. I'd bring it up. It'd be C probably now.
Yeah, yeah. I'd put it. I think I'd put it in low C, just because I don't think Widow really gets above C unless you're just like godlike with her. There are situations where, I mean, I've gotten MVP as Widow since I've been playing her, so there are situations where she can be.
She's a lot better now than she was when we were tier listing characters last season.
Yes, that too. But I know, especially with Flyer meta and Poke meta right now. But
and the Punisher,
yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, next we got Hawkeye, who his roles are destroy and then control. And so his is serial kills and then area denial. So this one's interesting. There's going to be a lot of these ones where they really are just kind of destroy ults. You're just trying to kill people. But we have control on as a secondary thing, and usually control, specifically area denial, on as a secondary role, for the reason that you pop one of these and people are going to run. They're going to run and they're going to scatter. So even if you don't get the kills, there is value that you're going to get out of people abandoning the objective, trying to hide in corners where, Black Panther and Spider-Man can come out of nowhere and get them separated from their team. There's a lot of value even when you don't get the kills off with them, which is what I think I wanted to highlight by showing this with Hawkeye. Is obviously it's a crazy destroy ult. Serial kills, meaning you're getting one kill after the other rather than just one big explosion like an Iron Man. You can do like just disgusting things with this. This might be one of the best ults in the game.
Especially now that they've buffed it repeatedly.
But even when you don't, you are doing something if you are holding down a lane and saying, you can't come out here or you're going to die. That makes a difference, especially on a push map or even in domination, if you can keep people off the point because you're just too threatening.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up after Hawkeye, you have Hela, who we've given the exact same categories across the board. Main role destroy, sub role control, sub role 1 serial kills, sub role 2 area denial. And yeah, she's doing the same thing. When you hear that Hell Unleashed, and she flies up into the sky, either you're going to try and get out of the way, or you are diverting your attention from fighting the enemy team to trying to take her out of her ult. And either way, she is controlling the battlefield just by pushing Q, hitting that button, and while also having the potential to absolutely body some squishies with those kills. Hela's ult is still, to me, one of the nastier ones, because I mean, we put her, I think we put her in A. Yeah, we put her in A because of just not only how much damage and control she can have, but even when you kill her insanely high health pool in that ult, she still just comes right back and is totally fine. So
I was just gonna say before we moved on after her is like, if we wanted to, we could probably put a sub role 3 for her of defensive, just because like her having that entire extra health pool that then she just goes back to being at full health on her own after you kill it. Like she could just use this to survive and try to kill the people that were taking her out, right? Like
Yep. Yeah.
If you absolutely had to. That's not the main purpose of it, but it is possible to do that in a pinch.
No, very true.
Moving on, we got Human Torch, which I think is an interesting one, because I think this shows where some of these ults kind of fall differently than they feel like at first glance. At first glance, and when Human Torch came out, I was thinking, oh yeah, this is another kill everyone thing. There's big fire tornadoes.
Right.
I just launch them on people and everyone will die. That doesn't seem to be how it usually ends up working out. So the way that we have it on here, we have this as a control and then enhance ult. And when you break it down to sub roles, we have it specifically as area denial and then as engine. The idea being, a lot of what Human Torch is doing as a character is denying an area. He's doing a lot of just laying down places that you do not want to stand in. And what his ult does is just make those places bigger and do more damage. I've tried to use this for a long time playing Human Torch as a serial kill ult where I'm just trying to hit people with it and hunt them down, and I'm almost always disappointed. But
Yeah.
if you're using it to just say you're not going on the point right now, you sometimes get kills anyway because people just have to push or they try anyway. But a lot of
Right.
what you end up doing is you just stall the game out for quite a while, which is great.
Yeah.
Very useful.
Yeah. And in a very high action, high intensity game like Marvel Rivals, where people are moving around a lot too, as long as you're just like throwing these around the point, you're forcing your enemy team to have to now assign some portion of their brain power to think about, okay, now how do I not freaking step into
Yeah.
a flaming tornado in this fight?
Yeah.
And
Just like Penny. Like
yeah,
Penny,
exactly.
Penny has that utility where like everyone is looking for where's that nest? Where's that nest? Like
Yeah.
you're looking on the sides and out of the way and not paying attention to what you're fighting. So
Yep. Yep.
Human Torch does that to you too.
Yeah. I wanna like the Human Torch more than I currently do. I
I do
still
too.
think his like controlling kit is very fun. But you know who I don't think is very fun? Our next hero, Iron Fist, who is destroy enhance with the sub roles of serial kills and
Can you
engine.
really can you really
Uh,
call Iron Fist a hero?
Thank you.
He's just more of a scumbag, really.
He's a public menace. um, Public enemy number one. If J.K. Simmons, I mean, wow, that's when you know an actor is encapsulated in the role. If J. Jonah Jameson ever had the misfortune to meet Iron Fist, he would take all attention away from Spider-Man. But yeah, Iron Fist, he's meant to get kills with this thing. When he pops Cheaper Town Hall, you know someone gonna die. His secondary role is enhance, of course, because his ult really is just making his primary attack even better and nastier. Heavier lock on, more verticality, more damage, faster punches, more health to just kind of relentlessly hunt people down with. So yeah, he's getting those serial kills. He's continuing to do what he does best, which is hunt people down and beat them until they want to uninstall.
Yeah.
And he does it. I mean, this is
And it improves his defenses too, right? Because
yeah,
the ult
exactly.
is also improving the dragon's defense. So
Yep.
that's another classic engine type thing to do.
Yep. And that's why we put that in A.
Yeah.
Because it is
Well,
a terror.
next we've got the quintessential destroy ult. And it's as simple as you get. It's destroy, it's AoE kills, it's Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
You just start saying maximum pulse, and if they don't kill you fast enough, you kill 3 or 4 of them. That's pretty much all there is to say about this one.
Yeah. You don't have Iron Man trying to like get people off of the point by scaring them away with maximum pulse. There's not enough time to react to that. The way he controls is by killing everybody. So that's the thing. Now you love to see when someone makes the ultimate sacrifice and dives straight. So like you can react to it. There's no ult that you like can't react to. But
except Spider-Man.
Yeah.
we already got corrected on that by someone once.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of ways you can react to it, but I can't.
The chances, yeah. The chances of you noticing in time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I will say that I saw an Iron Man the other day that used his ult in a way that I'd never seen before. And it's probably just because I'm not a good Iron Man and I haven't thought about this at all. But he was ulting right in the middle of a fight, like 2 inches above the ground. Because it meant that there was no travel time, and then really like as long as he got it off and he had someone protecting him so that we didn't kill him while he was doing it, there really was no way to respond. It was just maximum pulse, and then everyone was dead immediately.
Yeah.
And it was hard to find him because you were expecting him to be way up in the sky somewhere and not literally like breathing down your Vanguard's neck.
Yeah.
It was gross. He got us with that like 3 or 4 times, and I felt really embarrassed. Anyway,
please add self-damage to Iron Man's ult. Please nerf.
Yeah,
right. Moving on to Magic. So her ult's roles are enhance and destroy, with her sub roles being engine, serial kills, and AoE kills. So much like Genji from Overwatch, Magic is taking out a big sword, and she's getting her intent, like, so keeping and enhancing her already really strong, powerful movement, gap closing abilities and things like that. And she's trying to dive through and one by one pick off the enemy team. So nothing about her play style changes in this ult. It just makes every single one of her abilities better. And she's already absolutely disgusting, as seen by her win rate every single season, no matter what they do. No matter what the meta is, she's still coming out on top. So, of course, her first sub role is engine, but then getting serial kills and AoE kills because, of course, you can do both with magic. You can spin that sword right round, baby, right round, or you can dive people down in the back line. She can do it all.
And again, with the ones that are engines, it's weird because, like, primarily what this is doing and why we have enhance and engine first is because it's just amplifying everything she does. Right. But what she does is kill people. So destroy being a secondary doesn't mean you don't use this to get kills. It just means it's enhancing her ability to destroy everything and stay alive. So
yeah. It's almost like, since we just talked about Iron Man, like, if you need another example, think of it as like her ultimate is kind of like his armor overdrive. Like, his armor overdrive isn't giving him another ability. It's just making his existing abilities better. That's what Magic's ult is, but on steroids.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, then we got Moon Knight, who is a destroy control hybrid.
Khonshu guides my ult.
Yes, and his primary sub role would be AoE kills, and then we have crowd control, which, nope, that was Namor. I was looking at the wrong one. AoE kills and area denial. There we go. That makes more sense. I was going to say it should be more area denial. I'm sorry.
I'll highlight these rows better.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got the big thing. Killing a whole bunch of people who are in the area, you drop it right on someone who's in the middle, you're going to get some kills. But you know what? If they scatter like roaches, then you just denied the point for quite a while. So very similar to what we've been talking about with like Hela and Hawkeye, except it's a AoE kill flavor instead of a serial kill flavor.
Love that flavor. Moving on to Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, boy, I get to talk about
it. Both of my least favorite characters in the game. Sweet. So he is the only duelist who gets the survive role. So his main role is enhance. His second role is survive. And then his sub roles are engine, defensive, and serial kills. Lol. So
maybe you could
maybe. Mr. Fantastic, the reason why we picked enhance is because it enhances his persona of being a massive goofball by turning him into a literal ball with which he can bounce on people. But no, what it's doing is it's enhancing his play style of getting in the enemy's face, being a nuisance, being able to tank a lot of damage, and being able to debilitate the enemy team. He gets his true, like, Mr. Fantastic is the most true off tank in the game. So this just makes him even more that way, both in the extra health he gets and in the, difficulty to hit a bouncing ball target.
It honestly just kind of turns him into Cap for a little bit.
Yeah,
like he basically just becomes Captain America, and that's where you get the engine defensive, and then serial kills is the third thing. Like, Cap isn't really focused on getting kills most of the time; he's focused on surviving and being obnoxious, and that's kind of what the Mr. Fantastic ult does. Unless you're Josiah and you meet him in a dark hallway, and then
don't get trapped in Hell's Heaven side corridor with Mr. Fantastic, or you will die in 1 second.
Moving on, we got Namor, who is another destroy control, just like we had with Moon Knight, Hawkeye, and Hela. You're going to see a lot of those on the duelist side because that's, typically what you're trying to do as a duelist. And his sub roles are AoE kills, and instead of area denial like Moon Knight, he's got crowd control. So they boosted the AoE kills on this one even more this season with widening that inner circle. But you get hit in the inner circle, you're squishy, you're dead. If you get hit in the inner or outer circle and you're not dead, you're knocked down for a little bit and you have no movement abilities for a little while. And I mean, it almost gives him a nice... It almost gives him kind of a Vanguard ult mixed in with a DPS ult. And so his ult is very versatile. Like there's almost not a bad time to use it. Situation wise, like if there's multiple enemies, you need to slow them down, use it. You even if you don't kill them, you slow them down. And you might just happen to accidentally kill all of them, and that's probably good too.
Yep, he gets Eye of Agamotto, but at range with one hit kill potential.
Yeah, exactly.
which is super crazy, and also with the same setup potential as Eye of Agamotto too, because just like when Doctor Strange pulls off that ult, he can do his madness expulsion. I don't know why I can't ever name the abilities what they actually are, but his dark magic, Maelstrom of Madness. Jeez. And get that double damage on the spirit and the main target. Namor, I mentioned this in his Hero Spotlight, like you want your squids out before you drop this ult. And then now he can get those, capitalize on the critical hits, the enhanced damage, all of his like main things off on the down targets. And in the Season of Flyers too, this is even better.
Yeah. Man, you said exactly what I was just about to say. We're so in sync.
Whack.
All right. Yeah, crack.
Psylocke.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yep. So she is also a destroy control with the sub roles of serial kills and area denial. So still I think maybe lost some of her murderous potential as time has gone on, but still can have really nasty consequences for the enemy team if they're not in a position where they can get away from this quickly, or where they can all like huddle up together and kind of dissipate the damage. So of course she's taken on a big circle of you do die, and trying to most likely wipe out the enemy strategists, enemy duelists, maybe clean up some low health vanguards. And you're never going to walk. Never have I ever seen a Psylocke ult and someone be like, yeah, I'm going to step in there. I'm going to walk into that territory. So she gets the side effect of having control from that too.
Yeah, I really like as time has gone on. So there was that strategy that people started picking up of how to counter the Psylocke ult, of stepping into it.
Everyone getting in there. Yeah.
Everyone getting in there. Vanguards are a lot more likely to do that, especially because their mobility is typically lower, right? So they have a harder time getting out. So if I see an enemy team backing up away from a Vanguard and I'm Psylocke and they're just kind of stranding their Vanguard out on their own, I will sometimes like solo ult the Vanguard, because I know like they're not even likely to run because they think their team is with them. And then you just take out like a 700 health Groot on his own. You know what I mean? And like that can swing things just as much as killing the two strategists sometimes. But yeah, her like ceiling is a lot lower on this, especially after season 0, than maybe most of the other destroy control ones. But I think the control is a bit stronger than a lot of the other ones.
Putting sub-roll 3 as emotional damage from showing the enemy Vanguard how alone they really are.
You even color coded it. I like it. We can put emotional damage on more of these now. All right, Scarlet Witch. So we've got, surprise, surprise, another destroy and control. This one being AoE kills and area denial. And I think, just as a side note about all of these destroy control ones in a row, this is where the sub rules really kind of shine as like being useful. Yeah. Because Namor, Psylocke, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Hawkeye, and Hela are all destroy, and Moon Knight are all destroy and control, but almost none of them, more than like 2 of them at a time, share the same exact sub roles. And so like there is a reason to use one over the other. Uh,
Yeah.
it's not just interchangeable of like we just need someone to kill everyone. It doesn't matter who. So
Yep.
there are still times when you're playing as a Scarlet Witch and you see that there's a Moon Knight on your team as the other DPS or something. Even though you guys have the exact same roles and sub roles, there are different flavors to how it's used, right? Different
Right.
flavors to what it is that it can pull off. So there's times to go like, you know what, I'm gonna hold my ult a little bit because I think the Moon Knight should be the one to use this one. And so hopefully this can kind of help with that. But anyway,
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch, I mean, yeah, hers, you've got the control aspect of just scaring everyone away. Of also just taking everyone's attention immediately because they're all turning around trying to figure out where you are, trying to shoot you before you blow up. Or they're trying to run away, right? They're either trying to run away or they're trying to kill you. And either way, you're taking over the whole game for that little bit of time because everyone's focused on you. And if they make a mistake, you kill a bunch of people.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think this next one is a perfect partner. Spider-Man, whose ult is destroy control as well, with AoE kills and crowd control rather than area denial. So this is where Nick was mentioning how like Scarlet Witch and Moon Knight, who share the same roles and sub roles, can still have different ult uses. This is an interesting one where Scarlet Witch and Spider-Man don't share any of the same hero roles and sub roles. Spider-Man's a flank and Witch is a poke brawl. And this is why I hate Spider-Man's ult more than Scarlet Witch's ult, because the way Spider-Man uses his, even though he and Scarlet Witch have very, very similar ults, they're both AoE, big kill everybody kinds of things, is that Spider-Man's comes out of freaking nowhere every time because he's a flank and because he's the dirtiest, highest mobility flank in the game that can come from spawn straight to, the objective in 3 seconds. Spider-Man is whipping this thing out and wiping the entire enemy team without any wind up. And yeah, getting a little bit of that crowd control with, if you don't die, now there's a chance you're webbed down in place anyway, and the enemy team's beating on you while you have no mobility. So yeah.
Josiah, I have something for you. I have a gift for you. Look at the bottom. Oh no, I can't do it in here. What? Look in our. No. look at the Reddit take of the week. Parts of the notes. Oh, I've got a picture here for you.
I'm scrolling. Yes, I love it. Oh man, I don't know who deserves that position more, Spider-Man or Iron Fist, but
it's your responsibility to read it for the
yeah. So Nick has the evolution of the trash icon, and we go from the simple low pixel era of Windows 1995 to some higher definition in 1998. 2000, we shift gears, have this like futuristic cylinder, and then 2001, 2006, 2015, we're evolving the trash can, but in 2025, it's Spider-Man.
And it's the Spider-Man Lord icon in particular.
Spider-Man Lord icon is the 2025 trash icon. I'm going to replace my trash icon on my desktop with this Spider-Man Lord icon.
I thought you would
after this episode.
I should get credit to whoever it was. I saw it on Instagram somewhere, and I think that the comment right under it was like, "Yep, every game you see that Lord icon, and either they're going to carry the team or complete trash. There's no in between."
Yep.
Anyway, sorry for derailing this. Let's get back to ults. We got Squirrel Girl, who hers falls into control and then destroy. Ooh, slightly different.
Whoa.
The sub roles on this one are area denial, engine, and then serial kills. So the reasoning behind this one is Josiah and I have great disagreement over how much the squirrels kill people. But it is definitely true that much like Human Torch, the squirrels are meant to be more of just this thing that you have to constantly play DDR to get away from, rather than and like split your focus, rather than like they're going to kill 6 people.
Yeah.
I have serial kills on here because if you get a good angle and you're really good at pinball, like you can rack up 2 or 3 kills with these. But the idea is that it's really
with these nuts, he said.
But the idea is that, you know, you're doing some area denial, you're keeping people on their feet, they're constantly like looking behind them, trying to figure out where the squirrels are instead of paying attention. And then you have the engine aspect for Squirrel Girl, where really that is her entire role, is to pepper the battlefield with a whole bunch of damage coming out of nowhere, where they're constantly going, okay, where's that squirrel? I got to get rid of her. These squirrels just add to that chaos. I mean, she's literally just about creating chaos, and this does that to a T.
I love that. No shade. I know I've thrown her a little bit of shade. I like you can. Yes. No, stop. You obviously you can aim with Squirrel Girl and have like, I mean, good Squirrel Girl players are absolutely insane with what they can do. But I do love that her ult is like very much random chaos. Like close your eyes, hit the button, which is what a lot of entry level Squirrel Girls do. Okay, they just kind of like face toward the enemy team and hold left click. But
right. But if you get really good with her, just like the rest of it, you start to become one with the universe on tracking the trajectory of where all the nuts are going to bounce. You do the same thing with the squirrels. You set up the pinball game, and you know exactly it's going to hit this wall, then this part of the point, and then this wall, and hit this guy in the back.
Right.
And that guy is me every time.
Yep. I'm sorry. You just face a lot of people who really know how to handle those nuts.
Yeah.
Moving on to Star-Lord. Never mind. Destroy. Destroy is his only role, with the sub roles being serial kills and area denial. One of the most terrifying ults in the game. We've talked about it many times, and it's only gotten worse this season. When you hear freaking eggs and dairy, I mean, you know, if you can see his glowing eyes, you are very likely going to die.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is pray that there's enough DPS and you can burn him down really quickly, or hide for your life, because he coming for you. And that's also where the area denial comes in, because well, yeah, you're not going to contest this. You're going to be hiding, which means that wherever he is now denied that area.
Which is usually the sky right over the point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, when are we going to get a Barney Stinson skin for Star-Lord? Since he's screaming legendary all over the place.
Wait for it. Dairy.
I want that. Anyway, Storm is next.
He's a nice looking blonde man. They could just straight up give us Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, they could. Storm, also destroy. Again, a lot of these could just have control on thrown on because people are going to run from them, but we just went straight destroy for Storm, and it's just straight AoE kills. I mean, you chase him down. It's a nice version of the AoE kill that's not. It's like a serial AoE kill, if I can describe it that way. Like,
it's a lot of the AoE ones. Witch,
a lot of the AoE ones, Scarlet Witch, Moon Knight, Iron Man, are all very like one and done. Like, there's a moment and you kill them or you don't. Storm, like, it can keep going, but it's a big AoE area. So I mean, the fact that Storm is traveling all over the place and the danger keeps moving, there probably is more of an aspect of control that we could add on to this, just from that threatening such a large area. But
yeah, it's true. I agree.
But it's nasty.
It is nasty, and just visually, from a visual standpoint, from a sound design standpoint, so satisfying. That crackle of lightning before the storm like actually explodes is hot.
Yeah.
Next we have the Punisher, who is another straight up destroy ult, with serial kills, area denial, and engine being his 3 sub roles. So much like Star-Lord, your defense from this is to run. With the Punisher, it's a little bit easier to get away because he's much slower than Star-Lord and obviously doesn't have the freaking Z-axis to fly around in. However, the devs were seeing a little bit too much of that and decreased the punishment on his movement speed while in this ult now. And then Engine, because I mean, what's the Punisher ever doing but bullet hosing downrange to kill people?
Right. It's really like, I'm just going to take my assault rifle and add 5 more for a little while.
Yep. And some rockets for good measure.
Some rockets.
Yeah. I've still unfortunately only played 1 game of the Punisher this season, but man, did I have so much fun. I can't wait to use his ult more now. With the movement speed increase.
You need to change that very quick and play some more Punisher. He's fun. All right, sweet. I get to talk about Winter Soldier. That makes me happy. We got Destroy and Enhance for Winter Soldier, and the sub roles are Serial Kill, and then Buff, Debuff. So Winter Soldier's ult is a really unique one, and it was kind of hard to place when we were initially doing this. Originally, I just had Buff in the Enhance sub roles, and this is one of the ones that made me change that, which then ended up giving it to Scarlet Witch as well. But he's got such a unique ability here with that culling threshold, where he essentially eliminates part of people's health bars. But on the bottom half, like it's not damage where you're taking it out of the top, you're taking it out of the bottom and sandwiching them. And then obviously, like this is the serial kill ult of serial kill ults. Like every time you kill someone, you get to do it again. You really can't come up with another ult that could possibly be more of a chain kill than this.
Right.
So pretty simple to discuss, but this is because of that potential to just keep going, and because even the enemies that you don't kill, you are debilitating them for 5 seconds in a very powerful way. We've been talking the last couple episodes about how you want to use this, and it really is like this pushes the snowball down the hill, and that is the goal here. So
and again, just masterful sound design, that crunchy mechanical industrial, like it sounds like the nastiest check mark when you get the kill, that
and even
increases in intensity every time, like,
and even the voice acting, like this is the meme of Rivals, but it's a meme because it's so good. Like he does it so well, and it's so copyable.
Maybe the coolest ult in the game, because you just the cool freaking Hydra tentacle arm, like everything about it is just Winter Soldier's already super cool. Well, closing this list out for the duelists with Wolverine, we have a control ult with a secondary role of Enhance, and his sub roles are Engine, Crowd Control, and Serial Kills. Little bit of a slap to our boy Wolverine, putting him without a Destroy main or secondary role. He and Mr. Fantastic are the only duelists who don't have Destroy as one of their main things that they do. And it's not that he can't, not that you can't get killed by a Mr. Fantastic in a dark alley in Hell's Heaven. I've seen Wolverines get kills. I've gotten kills with Wolverine, but in general, he's ripping someone out of the battlefield. He's slamming down on another location, potentially on even more targets. He's setting up his rage ability. He's getting his swipes in. He's just allowing his kidnap murder play style to be even nastier. And if he gets some kills in the moment with the Q, great. If he does it right, he's pretty likely to get some kills right after if he doesn't get it in that moment. So still potential to be pretty nasty in the right hands.
It's a thin distinction, but the ult is setting him up to get kills rather than getting kills from
kills.
The ult.
Right. And I think when comparing to someone like Black Panther, who in general has like some similarities, Black Panther I see get more kills with his ult than I see Wolverine get kills with his ult, I think. So that's why Black Panther gets a Destroy, but Wolverine doesn't.
Yeah, the Wolverine achievement, like the silver achievement for Wolverine, is to get 3 kills with the ult, like with a single use. Ult?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I've been trying to do that for so long because I'm like, when I have to like find 3 enemies who are at like 10% health.
Yeah.
That don't die in the long wind up of me jumping into the sky and going.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when I'm ever gonna do this. It's gonna have to be a bot game, I think.
I was just about to say you could play
AI.
versus some bots.
Yeah.
But not Ultron bot number 4. My goodness.
Oh man.
We'll get into that in a minute. Well, to give some closing thoughts, most of the duelists, your main role is to destroy. It's to get kills, for sure. But the situations in which you do that, if you're a Scarlet Witch versus a Spider-Man versus a Moon Knight, like, even though you may share the same kinds of like wide AoE quick kill potential, we hope that this discussion has kind of shown how you can use these differently and use them to greater effect, and maybe even turn, like, I'm just looking at some of the, we talked about Widow. I put Widow in F. Like, just having played her a little bit and going through this conversation makes me realize that she's at least a tier and a half, better than where I was placing her originally. And even thinking of Wolverine, like, I put him in C, but I mean, when you think about the enhance and the engine aspects of how it sets him up to do even better, like, maybe it's even better than that. So all that to say, we hope you learned something. Hope you feel more confident to use these ults in more strategic ways, and that you win more games with them.
Yeah. And next week we'll be back to talk strategists.
Heck yeah. But close out this next series.
Yeah. But for now, Sebastian, you got something to say?
Hey chat, Sebastian Stan here, armed and dangerous again.
Thank you, Sebastian. Okay, so I was playing a game of Battle Matrix today, and I had a fully upgraded Bucky who was literally getting like 10 kills per ult. Because they would like res, or there's Loki clones or whatever. It was insane. And I did this to some guy in the lobby, and he was just like, wow, Bucky, after I murdered him, right? And then we all started talking, and I brought up the Sebastian video, and there was like 2 of them had heard of it, and they were like, oh my goodness, that's my favorite thing I've ever seen. And then one other guy hadn't seen it, and he went and looked it up, and we were just having a great. I added 2 of them as friends after. It was fun.
Oh, nice.
Anyway,
I love those moments.
All right, so our Battle Matrix game, though, we played this right before we recorded, based on last week's teams that we made, and it was close. We were doing really well. You beat me the first 2 times we came up against each other. Yep. I ended up beating you the last 2 times.
Yeah.
And then Ultron Bot AI number 4
bodied us all.
With
his freaking infinite Rocket Raccoon revives that he was whipping out.
Yeah, so the Ultron Bot won the lobby, but I got 2nd place and Josiah got 3rd. So I win last week's Armed and Dangerous Battle Matrix, and we're going to do that again. So we're drafting teams. We're going to get 2 options. We don't have to do 2-2-2, I guess, because Battle Matrix is all over the place. Do we want to pick a different?
Yeah, but we'd have to choose unless we wanted it to be totally random. Can we do that? Can we do it? We can
random.
Let's do it.
Okay,
let's freaking do it.
They'll just offer us 2 random characters each time.
Yeah, Battle Matrix has weird metas. 6 Duelists, 6 Vanguard is a thing that's going on right now. So
yeah. Okay,
let's embrace the
chaos. We're gonna just do random teams. We get offered 2 nominees each time we have to pick. Yeah. And I think for this one, we just try to draft the best Battle Matrix team we can. Yep. Because we don't have Rivals metadata getting in the way of, where our heart is. Just draft the team you want.
You may have a slight advantage having played about 6 more hours of this than I have, but that's okay.
You read more Reddit than I do, so you have a lot of other opinions.
There's that.
So, and basically, just if anyone cares, the way that we decided this, because you don't get to pick your team out of the full roster at the beginning of the game.
Right.
You can pay to swap characters later on. What we decided is when we play this, you cannot buy any upgrades until you have your full 6-person team that we draft here. So
that's right. That's why I lost for sure. I'm gonna write it off because I had to swap Duelist 4 more times than you did, and those 20 less points made me lose.
Yeah, but we did do pretty well. We had you had 4 and I had 5 right off the bat from the ones that. So we could get really unlucky this week and have like none of them.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get destroyed by the Ultron bot again. But all right, let's start. You get to go first. You get either Jeff or Moon Knight. Oh my goodness.
Jeff, give me my Sharky boy.
Okay, I should have said this before, but are we doing team exclusive heroes because we're in Battle Matrix and
no.
Like if you get Jeff, should I not even have the option for it to show up randomly?
Well, no, because it could be you could do it, right? You could do mirror matches. I mean, the chances are pretty low.
I need to turn that off so that Jeff doesn't disappear when you take him then. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't start over.
No, I'm not starting over. I just have to turn it off.
Yeah, go for it. Turn it off. Yeah.
You get Jeff. All right. My options are Invisible Woman or Iron Man.
Well, there you go.
I'm taking Invisible Woman for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next for you, Venom or Psylocke?
Oh, Venom. Venom is nasty in Battle Matrix.
Yeah, he is. All right. I get Magic or Squirrel Girl.
Big Magic.
No, I'm not doing it.
Magic
Josiah
might be meta in the real game, but Magic is the freaking worst in Battle Matrix. And you know what? This is a great moment, actually. You know why? Because her pick rate is so low in the main game that you have to be so high skilled. Like when you are very skilled, she's very good. But when you're a freaking AI bot piece of trash, she sucks.
Yeah. But you know what is really good for AI bot pieces of trash?
These nuts.
Squirrel Girl. I'm taking Squirrel Girl. All right. Black Panther or Black Widow?
Oh, Widow would be really interesting in this, but I'm gonna have to go with Black Panther. Yeah.
Okay. I get Doctor Strange or Human Torch. I'm gonna go with Doctor Strange. He's been really good for me in some games. All right, you get Cap or Magic.
No, Captain America feels really bad too, to be honest. Oh, I think I just lost right now. I'm gonna go Cap.
If you go Magic, you get the team up with Black Panther. I don't know why I'm helping you, but
wait, do they get team ups in Battle Matrix?
Yeah, team ups happen.
Oh, seriously?
You already have a Venom and Jeff team up too.
I didn't know that. Oh, frick.
I have no idea if I'm helping you by telling you to do that. Like, it could go either way.
Every game, there's no way, dude. Captain America.
Okay. I haven't actually seen a Cap, so I have no idea if he's good.
Yeah, I had a bad time with him.
Ultron or Scarlet Witch? I'm taking Scarlet Witch for sure.
I don't know, man. Ultron's really nasty in this. That infinite range with no ability to be blocked from the sky.
Yeah, but later on in the game, like Scarlet Witch just like wins on her own in a lot of games.
Ult spam.
And I have Doctor Strange. Like, yeah. Okay.
Speaking
Soldier
of ult
Black
spam, Winter Soldier for sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna end up 2-2-2, aren't I?
Maybe. Yeah. If you get another strategist, where am I? Well, I'll find out in a second. Iron Fist or Luna?
Huh?
I think I'm taking Luna. She did well for me the one game I took her. All right, and then Groot or Mantis?
Oh man.
This
is tough.
Groot is obnoxious.
Groot is just like super obnoxious. And I'm thinking because my team is pretty brawly, I'm gonna go with Groot. I'm gonna make it. Yeah, I'm gonna just one strategist. Hope I get the triple stream, Jeff. And
I'm not looking forward to fighting your team with a Groot.
Yeah.
Every time there's a Groot, he just puts up the wall. Whoever my most melee character ends up on the other side of it and the tank, and then they just die, and the strategist can't get to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Last pick. I get Venom or the Punisher.
Oh my gosh.
And I gotta go with Venom.
Yeah.
So I'm going 2-2-2, I guess.
I think you win. I think you win this matchup, but we'll see. Well,
if we were playing regular rivals, it says you would win by a landslide, according to last week's data. It has you winning at 52.37. Captain America MVP and Jeff the LVP.
But see, again, Captain America is another one of those characters that loses all of what makes him good in this game mode. Like, there's no annoyance stat in Battle Matrix. Like, he's not
The
as
AI
survivable. He doesn't do as much damage. Like, yeah.
The AI is definitely not animation canceling every one of his melees too.
No. I've got to be strategic about how I play this one for sure. I think I'm gonna lose though.
All right, well, at least by the stats, it has you winning by quite a bit. My SVP is Doctor Strange and LVP is Squirrel Girl, but we'll see how it goes in Battle Matrix.
Yeah.
And we'll see which Ultron bot wipes the floor with both of us.
Yep. And Nick may have slept on Ultron for Armed and Dangerous, but you should not sleep on Ultron in the actual game. And let's talk about why. From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. And that's why I am now an Ultron main. There's a little a little nugget for my 40K fans out there. This week our hero spotlight is of course none other than the anti-humanist bag of bolts. Does Ultron have like a mantle, like a name? Is what he's just
Ultron out.
Yeah, Pym and Stark's the prodigal being. He's Ultron. Everybody, he's here. He's my sixth. He's my sixth most. He's my sixth spotlight. My seventh most played character. I'm stumbling.
This is going well.
Hey, it can only go up from here. Nick, how much Ultron have you played, buddy?
You know, I've played about an hour of him right now. He's sitting at 32nd most played for me, but he's gonna get up there. Except that now I've found Jeff, and I probably won't play as much Ultron, but he's great. Hey, I enjoy him. Massively enjoying him.
And leaning into the spirit of the season, now we can be the suboptimal Jeff Ultron strategist bros together.
I've seen it work so many times with them fighting for MVP the whole game. At least in quick
play. There's a season for it. There's a season for it. Yeah.
All right, you ready for some Ultron lore?
Yeah. Tell me about him. I know a little bit, but
all right. So Ultron. So he's created by Hank Pym in all of the comics. The Tony Stark, Bruce Banner thing is just the MCU.
Yep.
And I guess there was one comic where they had him made by Tony Stark, but it was like an alternate thing.
Oh, really?
It wasn't the main deal. But yeah, created by Hank Pym, and he hates him, and he hates humanity. Yeah. So he's a self-adaptive artificial intelligence, so he can learn and like change himself from the inside, basically. And so in Ultron's origin story, he comes online, becomes sentient pretty much immediately, and then brainwashes Hank Pym into forgetting that he made him, and upgrades his own body from that weird toaster thing that we're getting as a spray when you play through the Ultron thing, into
Roomba,
like
Roomba Ultron.
Yeah, out of Roomba Ultron into more of like the humanoid one that we know, and runs away and schemes at how he's going to destroy Hank Pym and humanity.
I have to say that is cool, but it's not as cool as MCU Ultron getting online and browsing the internet for 20 seconds and coming to the conclusion
we all need to die.
The only way to move forward is to eliminate humanity.
Yeah. Same conclusion. He gets there differently, but he's another character whose comic arc is pretty well summarized in the MCU. Like they did a pretty good job condensing and adapting it and just kind of like changing what they needed to for what was going on in the MCU at the time. Because in the comics, some of his highlights are he creates an adamantium body for himself, which in the MCU they used vibranium and had Vision end up taking the body instead of Ultron, right? But they did that in Age of Ultron, like right away. Creating Vision is another big thing that happens with Ultron. Check. Right. They do that immediately. And then in the comics, he destroys the country of Slorania, which is basically what they did with Sokovia in the MCU. Right. They added the dinosaur meteor kind of theatrical flourish to it, but he decimates a Eastern European country in the comics too.
Sorry, Eastern Europe.
Sorry, yeah. Basically, he just wants to destroy all organic life and replace it with robots. At one point, he creates the Ultron virus, which we got a bunch of skins related to this season, and starts spreading it around the universe to turn things into cyborgs controlled by Ultron. And in that case, the Avengers stopped him via some time travel shenanigans of some kind. Sounds
Naturally.
a little Endgame to me. But yeah, Vision's origins are pretty crazy. So Ultron wants to create something to fight the Avengers. So he kidnaps the guy who created the 1940s Human Torch, which I guess was an android.
Whoa, what?
And he edits the design to create Vision
What?
and makes his face red because Ultron said make his face red for some reason. And then Ultron kills the guy after he finishes making Vision. And Vision's like, yo, dog, you just destroyed my creator. I want vengeance. And fights Ultron immediately instead of, joining him to fight the Avengers. And so Ultron, again, brainwashes Vision and sends him to fight the Avengers instead. But then Vision turns on him and joins the Avengers and fights Ultron back. It's weird that he's like kind of a clone-ish robot clone of another robot from who was the Human Torch. Not what I expected at all.
Right.
But that's just another side effect of me seeing the MCU version first and just feeling like it makes sense,
Yeah. I guess I don't understand who created the Human Torch. I thought they were like gamma blasted out in space.
Well, the Fantastic Four Human Torch is, but we've come across this other Human Torch a couple times. He was in the 40s in the team with Cap and
Captain
Bucky
America and Namor. Yeah. I remember now.
They always refer to him as the original Human Torch, Jim Hammond, but apparently he's a robot, and I didn't know that until today.
Okay. The not Human Torch. You got it.
Right. Yeah, the Inhuman Torch. Yes. At one point, Ultron gets merged with Hank Pym, and they cause a bunch of trouble, like both of them living in each other's minds very unhappily.
Yeah.
And then most recently, and I think this is what Rivals is kind of taking a flavor of. He's been split into various bodies that are like disconnected, like their minds are disconnected. And one of those Ultrons actually changed sides and joined the West Coast Avengers, which kind of feels very similar to what they've done with like, I forget exactly what the in-game lore is of. I think it's Tony like reprograms one of the Ultron drones, and that's the Ultron he play as.
To kill, right. He brings him back online with like a safety net that he can't turn on them, and he wants to kill the other Ultron who is create like the main Ultron because he's the more perfect creation.
Yeah. And then like the reason we're going is because of Doom 2099 wants to just erase Ultron from existence in all timelines or something like that. This season's lore is really complex. We really do need to follow it a little bit more.
It's good.
Maybe talk about it.
It's interesting. It's super interesting though. Like I talked about it in the patch notes that one episode because like Doom tried to erase him, but maybe accidentally ended up being the reason he exists by trying to erase him. Like it's cool. I'm down for that stuff.
Anyway, last thing about Ultron in the comics, he seems to have like a pattern that they follow with him in a lot of stories. Like a lot of characters have like themes or recurring kind of motifs. He's got this pattern where he gets merged with someone or another, and that person's personality and beliefs kind of influence him and change him a little bit. Sometimes against his will, right? Like he can't do something he wants to do or whatever. So they really play with this whole him being an intelligence that gets embedded in things and then kind of like meshes with them and has a hard time figuring out which part is him, which is interesting. So depending on his influences, you get a really different Ultron, similarly to how Vision ends up being so different than Ultron, even though they have very similar origins, at least in the MCU. But so powers, he's a death robot. He's strong, he's durable, he's fast, he's made of adamantium, he can fly, shoot plasma lasers, and manipulate gravity.
He's faster, he's better.
Yeah, exactly. He's Batman. Then there's he has the encephalo beam, which apparently in the comics is the thing that he uses. It like puts people into a coma and then lets him brainwash them.
Oh, interesting.
Sometimes in ways that like lie dormant for a while until he needs it. So he's got a very like mind control-y kind of thing that he does a lot.
I don't know if that's more or less humane than what I was expecting from the name of that ability. Because the encephalo ray is, I was like, it's like Greek relating to the brain. I was like, dang, is he just like melting their brains every time he hits them?
Kind of, just internally, yeah. And then, he can like enter machines and computers and take them over and, manipulate electronics and metal and technology and stuff.
Naturally.
One fun fact I thought was really funny and very clear that he was created in 1968 when this was impressive. But he has 3.2 terabyte memory capacity.
Wow.
It's probably incredible. Not an SSD though, so you could probably outthink him.
Yeah. Right. I'm sure he's got a lot of RAM.
But yeah, that was back when 3.2 terabytes was like, this is more memory than anyone could ever possibly have.
Right. That's incredible.
Yeah, now I'm pretty sure my computer has half of that, and my external hard drive plugged into it has the other half.
Yeah.
So first appearance in Marvel Comics, Avengers number 54 in May 1968. He was in disguise, going by the name the Crimson Cowl, and you didn't get to see him like completely. Which they reference in Age of Ultron. They have him initially in a like a hood, sitting on a throne, and it's kind of very reminiscent of his first comic appearance. And then the next issue in June of 1968, he was revealed as Ultron, and they explained who he was and where he came from. But they liked doing a little teaser before of like, who's this mysterious guy rebuilding this evil group of evil people. Which was almost their name. It was the Brotherhood of Evil.
Right. Yep. I know.
So first appearance in the MCU. This one's interesting because you would think it was very straightforward. As with most of these with the MCU, it's not actually as straightforward as you think.
Yeah, I was for sure expecting just Age of Ultron.
Right. Technically, yes. Age of Ultron is the first time he is seen, but it's not the first time he is mentioned. He was mentioned maybe 3 days before Age of Ultron came out in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 19. So the first couple Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. seasons, they were running parallel to whatever was going on in the MCU.
Right.
And they actually, the movie studio was telling them enough to let them write like cameos and write like references in to whatever movie was coming out the week the episode aired. Dang. So, like when Thor: The Dark World came out, there was an episode where they were cleaning up the aftermath of London at the end of that movie that came out the week after that. The big one was when Captain America: Winter Soldier came out. That like defined the series because it completely. I'm not going to spoil that, but
man, that would have been so much fun to have been actively watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. while. Well, it was so much fun.
It was. But so in this episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that came out the week Age of Ultron came out, in the episode, Coulson and his team raid a Hydra base, and they find out where Loki's scepter is. And then Coulson calls Maria Hill and tells her to get the Avengers on it, which leads to the opening sequence of Age of Ultron, right? It's like the direct lead-in to how do the Avengers find that last Hydra base.
Right.
Is Coulson tells them from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then in addition, though, at the end of the episode, there's a character who sees visions from time to time. That's like her power. And she sees this vision of doom that she says is about men made of metal, referencing like the Ultron sentries. And I think they even show like an Ultron sentry or two and like a whole bunch of smoke. And it's like a very quick image of Sokovia, basically.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Cool.
But so that is like the first MCU mention of Ultron technically. And then, of course, there was the movie 3 days ago.
I like that your entire section on this was to the reference of him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and not his own self-titled movie.
Well, because everyone knows he was the bad guy in the movie. Like, what am I going to say? He was in the movie and he was the bad guy.
At least give James Spader a freaking shout out, dog.
Yeah, we should.
One of my absolute, one of the freaking coolest actors ever. Just to show like James Spader, like if you know who he is outside of Marvel, like Red Reddington and in the Blacklist.
Oh,
I mean,
so
obviously, yeah, absolutely incredible, and
who basically
many
is
other.
what he played as Ultron. Ultron was
Yeah.
just Raymond Reddington
Well,
as a robot.
that's the crazy thing is James Spader is pretty much always that kind of character in like
He was that
everything
kind of
that he's
character in The
in.
Office too.
Yeah, right. Yes. It's just so funny how much power he commands with his like
Yeah.
voice and mannerisms when like if you look at him, he's just like a dude. He's just like a normal, older dude. But my goodness,
It's the head
his
tilt,
acting
man.
chops. Oh man, the
head
vocal
tilt
head tilt.
Yeah.
too. But no, he just is absolutely he made that movie.
Yeah.
Um
Man,
it has
now I
some
just
of
want to watch
my
everything
I know.
James Spader related now again.
Yeah. But Age of Ultron has one of my favorite scenes in any Marvel piece of cinema ever, which is the Vision and Ultron's final dialogue, where Vision confronts him on being afraid of death.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Ultron tells him that humanity is doomed, and Vision's I got chills right now. Just thinking of it, where he says a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts. And
Dude,
I'm like, oh, man.
They give Vision all the good like.
I know they do.
Did
They
you end up
do,
seeing
man.
WandaVision?
Oh yeah. I saw
Okay.
WandaVision is one of the only Marvel shows that I watched like as it came out, like instantly. Yeah.
Because he had that speech about grief, which was fantastic.
Yep.
And
What
then the
is
ship of
grief if
Theseus
not
thing at the
love
end, which was like
persisting?
the nerdiest way to just defeat a supervillain
Yep.
I've ever seen, but it was great.
Incredible. Oh my gosh.
They've been throwing around like doing a Vision show for a long time.
Yeah, I've heard.
And there have been like rumors back and forth about whether James Spader ends up being in it as Ultron. And I as much as like I don't want them to just pull every possible like good character out of the past and be like they're not dead, they're back. I mean Ultron of all characters, like there's no way that he was completely disconnected from the internet and completely disappeared. So like give me an Ultron drone that was still around.
Yeah.
Just let James Spader talk to Paul Bettany one more time. That's all I want. I just want one more philosophical discussion between robots.
Right. I love it.
All right. Voice actor in Rivals is Jim Meskimen. And what else has he done? He's been Ultron in a lot of previous Marvel games.
Whoa.
He's been a lot of random background dudes in Legend of Korra. Like I'm talking like 30 different guys in the same show.
Jeez.
They were like, we need a dude. You're still in the office. Do another one. He's been Genie in a lot of Disney games. But probably if you're a gamer, probably most nobly, he's been a lot of presidents in a lot of games. He was John F. Kennedy.
Cast.
I know.
Like vocal typecast.
Yeah, he was John F. Kennedy in a lot of stuff, but specifically in Black Ops, the first one, and in X-Men First Class. So in a movie too, they had him play JFK, and then he was Bill Clinton in Black Ops 6. He was the Secretary of Defense in Black Ops 2. He's kind of like in every Black Ops. If there's like a U.S. official, and especially if it's president, it's probably him.
So interesting.
Yeah, and then he's been in tons of other stuff. He also has like a screen acting career, not just voice acting. But I've kind of left it to the voice acting. But the most important other game voice acting role by far is Nigel Thornberry in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2.
Yeah.
Smashing.
Oh man.
So just think of that next time Ultron says something about filthy meat sacks.
Yeah.
It's also Nigel Thornberry. Yeah.
What a storied career. No, and he does a great job. I love James Spader. That will always have a very special place in my heart. But that was truly like a shift away from what Ultron always has been. The Jim Meskimen's portrayal is like truer, I think, to the source material, and he does a great job. I was like genuinely, for a character that I like so much, I was like a little bit worried about how I would transition from my hearing James Spader in my head, but I think he he does a really good a really good job.
Good well.
He does a really good well impression.
He well jobs good.
He wells. We started a little later. It's already 1:30 in the morning. let's talk about his character breakdown.
Yeah.
So he is, of course, a strategist. Yeah, I didn't even think about this. I probably should have thought about this before the episode. Nick, you put here utility.
I put down that he's a utility. I think that's probably where he fits the most. There's a little bit of playmaker, but he's not really saving up things to make big plays. He's more
right. Yeah. He is a utility. He's just he's just so unique because of his flyer and his infinite range and his no cooldowns and stuff. But yeah, let's just talk about it. So this will be one of the shorter kits that we go through because his kit is very simple. His
and we talked about it 2 weeks ago.
And we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Yeah. his quantity of abilities is not what makes him so interesting and so good. But his left click, encephalo ray. So fires a constant beam. Has it's the charge rifle from Titanfall or Apex is what I mentioned the last time. It's also, of course, the Spartan laser. I didn't think about that back when we first debuted Ultron, but Spartan laser from Halo. So it has a charge up that does damage, and then it has a burst that does damage. The charge up does, 72? It's a weird number. It's an uneven number. And it doesn't say it on here exactly, but then the final detonation of the blast is 75. I think it is 72. I think I'm right about that.
Yeah, 6 times 12. Yeah.
Yeah, 70. Hey, wow. See, I know Ultron. Damage fall off starts at 20 meters and then hits maximum of 75% damage fall off at 30 meters. 1.58 rounds or 1.58 seconds per round. He has 6 rounds and a pretty lengthy reload time. So the thing with this, there's a lot of different ways that you can use this. An important thing to note is that yes, it starts damage fall off at 20. It really doesn't mean anything. You always want to be poking people with this no matter what. Ultron, I think, just to give an overview starting from here, Ultron's whole playstyle is about high APM. For APM stands for actions per minute, originally an RTS term. You always want to be doing something as Ultron, and regarding his primary, that's usually going to be trying to put pressure on strategists in the back line through unique angles that you can get through flight, or by some of those poke sustainy duelists who think that they're protected because their tank is in front of them. This thing absolutely deletes people.
Yeah.
Being able to do 150 damage in freaking half of a second is
a second and a half.
Yeah. Sorry, a second and a half is absolutely insane. There are so many people who will think that they can challenge you because you're a strategist, like squishies, and you just delete them. This is a very high mechanical skill type ability because you have to be able to track really well to get the most out of this. But hey, even if you're only hitting the end chunk of this, you're still doing 75 damage.
That's a big chunk.
That's a big chunk. There's still a lot there.
Yeah, and what you're saying about the damage fall off, 75% is actually pretty high for an ability that has damage fall off. You're still doing 3/4 of the damage at infinite range, right? Yep. And so if you do the math on that, that means if you hit someone with the full laser and the chunk at the end, if you're past 30 meters and you're getting 75%, you're still doing 110 on that.
Yeah.
Which is still 3-shotting anyone.
Almost everyone on the roster. Yeah.
Which, granted, that's 3 1.5 second shots, but you're not going to be the only one fighting people. You're providing that Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, sorry, I just did it. Marcy does this all the time. Where Black Widow, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and Scarlet Witch. They're both Scarlet.
Red hair, black outfits.
Well, it's just Scarlet. Yeah. Anyway. You're adding that like huge chunk on top of whatever the rest of your team is doing to just finish someone off. So
Yep.
people at range, do it.
One just kind of like tech note here. His reload animation is really long. It's like 2 seconds. And if you're, you don't have to do this, but if you're looking for like optimal, APM, you can cancel his reload animation in a couple different ways. The most effective way is to drone somebody. You have to wait for 40% of his reload animation to be completed, but then if you drone someone, it instantly is finished. Or if you melee, it will also cancel his reload animation and it gets you back in the action, just just a little bit faster than letting his reload complete.
Nice.
Because you only have 6 rounds and you feel having to reload on him for sure.
Yeah. Well, and also if you're not mid fight with the target, like if you're mid fight with the target during the reload, you're probably going to want to try to stay aimed on them so that you're ready as soon as the next shot is ready. But if you're kind of like splitting between targets and just kind of trying to put some pressure on the enemy team and you're not really fighting anyone in particular, that reload time is the perfect time to check on your team, whoever has the drone, and go, okay, who needs the drone now, and be swapping the drone around, because that is something that you need to be doing a lot as Ultron. Is topping off whoever you can, keeping it so that your other strategist, who's obviously pulling full duty trying to do all the burst healing, has an easier time because they don't have to go change over to topping random people off.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get to that a lot more with his healing abilities. Normally, I read the left and right clicks together, but because his right click ties in so much with his other abilities, we're gonna skip to his shift. So his shift is dynamic flight. This is his one mobility ability, and it's extremely important that you're using this at the right time. So it's on a 8-second cooldown, which is only a little bit true, and I'll tell you why. But it has a 12-meter dash distance. It has 8 seconds of acceleration. Obviously, it gives him a 40% movement boost and gives him 50 bonus health, which is really important. So he gets a little bit of a dash, so he gets like a dodge basically, and then he gets his accelerated movement after that initial dodge. So you can use this as a like skillful like get out of the way of a maximum pulse or something, and then you get that extra flight to maneuver around. So 8-second cooldown. However, the cooldown doesn't start until your acceleration duration is ended. So from the moment you click it, it's a 16-second cooldown.
Which means 50% uptime.
Yeah. Which means that you need to be very careful about how you use this. Every time that I think I want to use this to simply reposition and like gank somebody, I'm wrong. That's the wrong choice. And I almost always get punished for it. You need this ability in your back pocket at all times. Like, I think of Scarlet Witch and her phases. Like, she at least has 2 of those, and they like cool down over each other. So you can kind of use one to initiate. But if you're trying to do that here, you are gonna get wrecked because Ultron is so slow and so vulnerable, that this always needs to be your escape option first and foremost. There's another way you can use it with your ult, but in general, I would say you need this off cooldown, because the moment that you need it, if you don't have it, like, you're going to die in that situation every time, basically.
Yeah.
And don't sleep on that 50 bonus health. It's not just the movement. It's being able to take 1 extra hit that would normally kill you. That matters. His next ability, his E, this is really the core of his healing. It's his only healing. Imperative patch. So he sends a giant drone to follow an ally, and it heals in a big old radius. So 25-meter target distance. It deals 45 health per second. And it to the target that the drone is parked on, and it deals 30 healing per second to everyone else who's around that drone. As long as they're within that 8-meter spherical spell field, they're getting that extra healing. And Ultron has a maximum vision of 30 meters with it. So if he's over 30 meters away, there's a 5-second countdown basically that will break the drone and send it away. Or if your target for the drone moves out of your line of sight for 5 seconds, it will also drop off of the target. So the main thing to know about this is that there's no cooldown. Right. This is again going back to why I said that Ultron is so reliant on high APM. The fact that there's no cooldown on this ability tells you everything you need to know, honestly, about how you're supposed to use this, and you're supposed to use it by switching it all the freaking time. This is not what I think a lot of people were saying before Ultron came out, which is a set it and forget it heal ability, and then you go play DPS. No, if you're doing that, you're a bad Ultron. This is for you to prioritize who needs to be healed, make sure that the most amount of people are getting healed as much as possible. And yeah, this is also your only way to heal yourself. So one of the reasons why flyers can be so nasty with Ultron is because you can drone the flyer that you're buddy with and top yourself off when you're taking a lot of damage. So Ultron flyers in general, right? Like, you don't want to, the temptation I think of a lot of people is like, oh, I can fly, I want to get as high as possible because high ground is a great thing, which it is. You know, I can see over the battlefield, I can see over cover, all this stuff. Yes, it's true. However, you are also extremely vulnerable because there's generally not much cover up above. And even when there is, the enemy can see your feet when you can't see them at all. Right. So this is another thing to suggest to you that, like, yes, you can fly, but you may not want to use your mobility in such a way that you are really distancing yourself from your team.
Yeah, high ground is great. High air gives you no cover. There's a difference there. Obi-Wan was not standing in midair when he said it's over.
Right. Yeah. Because then Anakin could just lightsaber throw him and
chop his legs. Yeah,
and it would have been over. What a reverse that would have been. So yeah, don't, like, 45 healing a second too, like, or even the 30 healing a second. Like, don't sleep on that. Especially if you don't see its impact as much with tanks, but especially when it comes to duelists and strategists, like, you can really save people really quickly with this.
I mean, for Twisties, that's almost a full heal in 5 seconds. And
yeah,
it's just kind of always there. Like, I think that's the power of it, is that it's always there. It's not, you got like a Jeff bubble that's going to give you 80 health a second for 4 seconds, and that's great. And it's a really good ability. It's a very powerful ability, but it's 4 seconds long. Right. And this is just forever.
Yep. Yeah. And that, like, you can out heal some of those lifeline strategists at times. Like, not often, not always, but like, if you're being very smart with this and you have the right kind of team comp to have the maximum amount of benefit from your team being together and things like that. Like, I've gotten 20k healing on Ultron in, like, non-comp matches, which is really good. So
I've had plenty of games on Ultron where I end up having the most healing in the game on either side, and like pretty consistently, which is, I think, why you keep seeing, especially in quick play, the just constant, like, every game is an Ultron MVP. Is because healing is very, very heavily weighted in the MVP formula, and Ultron does a lot of healing because it's just, he never stops. Like, there's never a moment, unless your team isn't taking damage, he's getting healing at all times.
Yeah.
And great for your ult too.
Right. And the other thing is getting confirmed kills, and Ultron does a lot of that too, which is the other half of why you see him get MVP so much. So the drone also acts as an anchor for his next ability, which is his right click, which is Imperative Firewall. So with this ability, he summons drones to grant bonus health to allies within range, centered on both himself and the ally that has the drone on them. So instant cast, 10-second cooldown. It gives 75 health to him, and then it gives 55 health to allies near Ultron and the drone. There's an 8-meter spherical radius, and the fall off for the bonus health begins at 3 seconds. And then it falls off at 40 per second. So it's gone in 2 seconds. So a couple of things about this. It may not sound like 75 or 55 is a lot of bonus health, but the important, in my opinion, the most important thing to remember here is that it's bonus health, which means that not only are you preventing 75 damage from yourself, 55 damage on other teammates, but you're allowing them to heal up any health that's missing underneath that bonus health. So when you're playing him well and they're getting the healing from the drone, you are effectively doing a lot more than just giving that 55 bonus health.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like for the next 75 damage or 55 damage they take, you're doubling the healing rate of your drone, because they're not taking all of that damage that they would be, that the drone would be healing. It's getting them to make up ground and give them the health in their actual health pool. Which if you think about what the difference is there, well, yeah, it would have healed the same amount, but the difference is at the end of the day, they have more health in their health pool than they would have if they were just, trying to keep up with it. Which protects them. It protects everyone that you're healing. Like sometimes literally everyone on your team from being poked down a little bit more. So it's a lot better than we thought it was at the time. I think that
And another thing that, like, I haven't heard anybody say this, so this is a Josiah original. That I think this is really good. Like, think about how big of what kind of reaction we have when we're reading patch notes and we reading patch notes and we see that someone got nerfed or buffed by 50 health.
Right.
Like, that's what you're looking at in this situation. You're freaking patch noting them in the middle of a fight. And that can be absolutely huge. The fact that it's on a 10-second cooldown, it feels like a lot, but you're going to be pulling this off all the time. This is an ability you pretty much want to be using at all times. And it plays into his playstyle so well, because you're very likely not going to be frontlining with your tanks and your brawlers. You're probably going to be with your pokers or your sustains or your strategists or whatever. So you've got your drone on your tank or your brawler. You're back with your strategist. You use this ability. Everybody gets the bonus health, even though you're not anywhere near your tank. And profit.
I think that 10-second cooldown felt really long on paper. But when you're playing him, I think what we couldn't have realized yet when we were talking about him before is that when you're playing him, you're not even reloading every 10 seconds because of how long his primary fire goes, right? You're getting 1, 2, 3 primary fires off, and then, oh, hey, this is available again. You're moving the drone around a couple times, shooting 3 or 4 times, and you can do it again. And so if you just kind of get in the rhythm of doing it every once in a while, this is kind of one of those abilities where you can totally save it for a very specific clutch save. But it's kind of one of the ones that I feel like isn't a bad thing to just use it when it's off cooldown. Because it's just constantly tilting the fight in your team's favor.
100%. There's one more thing I was going to say about this. Remember that it is a spherical radius. So what that means is if you can visualize the sphere, right? if you have a sphere, the higher you lift it, the smaller the radius is on the ground. So if you want to benefit your team by casting this around yourself, you need to make sure that you're basically ground level. Otherwise, your radius is going to be, you're not going to be anywhere near that 8-meter radius because you're up in the air and you're just clipping the bottom of that sphere on the ground. So it's not a cylinder. It's not 8 meters and then like all the way down. It's just a big ball around you. So I remember when I learned that in the first week, and I was like, man, I could have sworn I used that like next to my strategist who was on low health, and I was like, oh, I was like 8 meters above them. So it didn't. Right. I was right over them, but it was just far enough away that it did literally nothing. That's all his abilities. All that's left is his ultimate and his team up. So like I was saying, like very, very simple kit. But very, very complex, potentially sweaty playstyle with just how much you have to be like doing things as Ultron at every moment to get the most out of him. But his ultimate,
it really is. I mean, it fits him being a robot. It really is about efficiency with the few tools that he has, rather than complexity about like all the different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. The more you can get into your supercomputer brain mindset and slough off the weakness of your flesh, the better you're going to be at Ultron. But yeah, his ultimate, Rage of Ultron, summons a bunch of drones to fire encephalo rays, damaging enemies and healing allies. So straight line projectiles that generate the spell field on whatever they impact, whether it's the enemy or the ground. 120 meters per second on the projectile speed. The beam damage from all the drones is at 8. The beam healing amount is 25. The total rays are 5. Ray amount per shot, 5. Interval between shots, 0.2 seconds. Ultimate total fire rounds, 5 rounds. Fire interval between rounds, 0.5 seconds. Spell field range, 3 meters. Spherical radius spell field. Don't worry about that. Okay.
This is going to be nasty for mid-season and like new season balance patches. Anytime they touch Ultron's ult, we're going to have to go back to this page and be like, okay, wait, so which one is ray amount per shot? Now he has 6.
right.
I mean that now he has, okay.
So this is total
every time he does one of those things.
Yeah, this is the most levers that they've ever shown with any ability, which is very interesting. Yeah.
We just said that his kit is super simple, and that's because they spent all of their development time adding all of these variables to his ult.
Yeah. You really don't need to think about literally any of those things. What you need to think about is you have a lot of big explosions, and they all do damage and healing. It's hard. Like I don't didn't, and I don't want to do the math right now. I don't know if you want to try a napkin math.
As far as I understand it, you have those clumps of him going do. He does 5 shots during that. Each one of those is going to do 8 damage and 25 healing to whatever it hits. So if you hit someone with all of that, you're doing 40 damage and 125 healing. And then he does that 5 times. So you can times that by 5.
Well, and then they don't mention the spell field damage though, because it's definitely more than 40. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I wonder, I actually, we also don't know, is this pre-buff or post-buff? I assume it's post-buff, because in between the playtest and the live update,
because this is coming from the wiki, so this is people testing it in game. Yeah.
Well, you should know if you haven't played Ultron but for some reason you watched a bunch of his playtest stuff. They buffed his ult damage by 33% between the playtest and the live update. So,
if this is post, that means it was doing 6 per shot before, and now it's doing 8. That's a 33% increase. So yeah, this is definitely updated because that's a really clean number.
Right. Let me break something down for you right now. Are you ready for this? You might want to hold on to something. This ult heals 500 health per second, making it the highest and fastest healing ultimate in the game. Nothing out heals Ultron's ultimate if he is aiming at his teammates. What that means, gang, is that what?
Dying because the way you said nothing out heals. I thought you were gonna say the hut at the end of it.
Nobody out heals the hut. What that means, gang, is that yes, you can do a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong. You can freaking eat up some squishies for breakfast with this ult and that 33% damage increase for sure. But what that means is that you have a freaking mobile Luna ult with infinite range. So if your team gets Agamotto Khonshu Wombo comboed out 30 meters away, you can literally tank all of the damage of a Moon Knight ult and everything else that's being thrown at them with this ultimate. Like, the potential here is absolutely nuts. And it only has a 3,400 energy cost. That's one of the lowest ultimate energy costs in the game.
Especially for strategists. Those are usually a lot
Especially
higher.
for a strategist. Yeah. When you consider, what did Luna just get nerfed to in this last patch?
4,500, 5,000.
I was gonna say that's approaching 5K, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely insane, especially again when you consider how much damage and healing potential you have as Ultron. Like, you're going to be getting a lot of these ults in the game, and you need to think about the healing when you're doing it. I think, again, a lot of Ultron people, the way people were talking about him, is like, oh yeah, you set his drone and then you just do damage. You pop his ult and you try and do some damage. Like, the devs are trying to tell you over and over again, no, Ultron can do a lot of damage, yes, and there is a time and place for that. But his healing potential is being wildly slept on right now. Everyone knows Ultron does a lot of damage, but I think people are really missing out on the actual support that he can offer to a team.
Yeah, I was saying when we were in the sub roles topic earlier, I was saying that he kind of ruined our survival ults because it's not a big circle die. But what it is a very unique. We have not had this yet for a strategist, and I think we mentioned this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It is the only strategist ult in the game where you can keep someone alive who is nowhere near you. Yeah. Right? Like, because he can shoot this all the way across the map, is the first time that the Black Panther main that's been yelling at your team for not healing him when he's behind a wall the whole game. He can get healing in the back line of the enemy team from this. And you can heal that Magic who's in her ult and is just jumping all over people. There's a lot of really nasty things you can do. And then the damage that is not quite as high is a nice bonus of if you are healing a flanker or someone who's in their ult who's right on top of the enemy team. It's just like Jeff's new left click. The damage is a bonus to go, hey, you're also softening up whatever they're fighting. So you think about comboing this with a brawler or a dive character, which unfortunately Ultron's presence has made them less present right now. But I think as the game, as the meta evolves over seasons and Ultron and divers can coexist again, I think you're going to see a really nice team up combo here of him being the strategist you want to pick when you have someone who's going to be hanging out in the enemy backline quite a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. There've been a number of times where, especially if your team's, communicating with each other, where I've played with our friends and someone's playing a flank of some kind and like, oh man, like I'm getting beat up by this Black Panther or whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, here we go. Ult. And I save their life and I kill the Black Panther. Like, they can run away and regroup with the team as I'm ulting on them, healing them. And at the same time, I've killed the guy who's chasing them because exactly what you said. So yeah. Last but not least, he launched with a very nice team up this season with Iron Man, of course. as his reprogrammer. So he gets Nano Ray, which is a replacement for Encephalo Ray when he uses it. So when you use your team up, you convert your left click into this ability. It's a channeled beam ability, which you know me as a basic beam boy. I love me some beams. Infinite ammo. It has a it doesn't give a duration here, huh? How interesting.
No, but there is a duration though.
Yeah. There's a duration. It's like, it says spell field duration. Weird. 8 seconds. Okay, so 8 seconds. 70 damage per second. It has a fall off starting at 20 meters, decreasing to 75 at 30 meters. Exactly the same to his main ability, and infinite range, just like his main ability too. And then it heals 85 per second as well.
Yeah, literally what this is, I mean, almost to the number. Literally what this is Jeff's new left click, but with 45 less healing a second than what Jeff gets. So if you like Nano Ray and you think Jeff is now garbage, think about that for a second. Jeff's just constantly putting out a Nano Ray with almost twice as much healing. But that also points to this Nano Ray is amazing because now you're shooting people from all the way across the map, hitting allies, hitting enemies, dealing chip damage to the enemies while you're healing the allies, just full swinging. I mean, this is a 155 health a second swing.
Yeah.
On a one-on-one that you decide to intrude into.
Yep. Yeah. And this again, like, I see a lot of people when they play Ultron, they use this offensively, which I can't. I'm beating a dead horse at this point. Like, that's your Encephalo Ray does more damage. So if you're using this to like deal increased damage, like, you're not doing that and you're gonna die.
Again, to make the comparison, this 70 damage a second is such a key rivals like damage number. This is the cloak left click, and this is the Scarlet Witch left click. So if you were playing Ultron and you ever thought to yourself, oh man, I would much rather have to aim a Scarlet Witch left click right now than use this Ultron gun. That's what you're doing if you just try to use Nano Ray as just purely an offensive ability.
Yeah.
You're swapping out a worse Scarlet Witch left click for your main ability. But if you're also healing someone, you're swapping in a slightly less healing Jeff left click, which is a very different thing.
Yes. Yeah. The utility you get out of this with damage is just the fact bonus. That it does damage at all. Exactly. It's the bonus. It's the icing on the cake. The purpose of Nano Ray is to give Ultron some true like burst healing ability.
Yeah, and some directed healing, right? Like like, oh shoot, this person's down. I'm gonna point at them and heal them. Like, he does not have the capability to do that normally.
Right.
Which is something that people have complained quite a bit about because that's very different than the other strategist. So this team up gives him the ability to do both, which is really good.
It was really funny. Before Ultron came out, I was watching. I feel bad. I can't remember his name. He's like a lesser known streamer, but I mean, obviously he had partnership access. He was playing Ultron, and he's a strategist main. Like, he plays strategists pretty much exclusively. And it was funny watching his gameplay, and he would keep laughing at himself because he'd see his teammates get low, and just instinctively he kept shooting Encephalo Ray at them, and he'd be like, he's like, I just want to instinctively, like, I keep thinking that that's gonna heal them, and it doesn't do anything. It's like, this feels so wrong. But he liked Ultron, like he had a really good time with him, but he's like, it keeps throwing me off. So Nano Ray allows you to do that. It's a really good team up. It's a really good ability. I think it's a little overhyped with people saying that like he needs it to be good. I don't think that's true. I think it does definitely give him a nice bonus of having that directed, burst of sustained healing. But I think his kit is really strong, really, really strong without it. I'm going to do one backtrack before we close this out. There was one thing I wanted to say about his ultimate that I forgot until this very moment. Rage of Ultron, rewind. You cannot use Imperative Firewall, which is his shield ability, while you're in it, but you can use Dynamic Flight while you're in it. So what you should almost always do is pop Imperative Firewall before you go into your ult, so you get that 75 bonus health, because you get no bonus health. Not only do you not get any bonus health from using this ult, but you also take 50% less healing from the ult spell field as well. So if you're like on the ground shooting this at your feet, you are only healing 250 per second, which is still a lot, but you have to be in a very specific situation to benefit from that. So pop Imperative.
You do get a 50-second self-healing just in general while you're in the ult, though, which I think we skipped over.
Yes. Yeah, I did. Thank you for mentioning that.
And you're unstoppable, which is good.
Yes, you are unstoppable. But yeah, pop Imperative Firewall, get that extra 75 health, and then then pop Dynamic Flight, get that extra 50 bonus health on top of the 75 bonus health, and enjoy 125 bonus health in your ultimate and be moving faster while you're doing all this stuff. That's the one situation that I'll allow you to initiate with Dynamic Flight, is when you're popping your ultimate and clutching your team and killing the enemies.
Yeah. I got thrown off there because I was trying to debate in my head whether you intentionally very sneakily threw a random Egyptian frog goddess reference in the middle of that sentence. You were just like, heck it.
Nice. Also, isn't Hecate? Oh yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Don't quote me on that. All right. Ultron costumes. Well, we've really only had one and then a couple recolors so far. So are we just saying Extron is awesome? Or I honestly, whenever I see Extron, I just think it's flying Adam Warlock, and I like out of the corner of my eye because it's the same color scheme and like basic shape. And I'm like, wait, did they let Adam fly? Like every time. That's what I think. And then I remember as I get Encephalo right in the face. It's a cool skin though. It's very cool skin.
It is very cool. I don't know why I don't love it as much as I feel like I should. Like there's nothing that isn't cool about it.
But it's not Ultron.
Yeah, it's not Ultron. Yeah. I really love his recolor, the Mechanical Phantom, the green glowing effect with the black is super, super cool. But I mean, his base skin's just so good. It's so classic Ultron. I will definitely be purchasing an Ultron skin when they do his like comic book Ultron with his like creepy grin, his like gaping spiky tooth grin. But yeah, I'm also excited to get the gold Ultron. I can't wait to see.
About to say, I'm really looking forward to the gold Ultron. Yeah. Like if you just look at the preview of it right here, he's got like,
oh, I have not seen that. Yeah, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, blue light effects.
Right, default Ultron has red in him. The Mechanical Phantom one is green, and RGB. The golden one is blue. Like
that's incredible! Holy freaking Protoss Archon Batman!
That's basically what he is. This will be my Ultron skin.
That is incredible! Oh my gosh! Well, if I wasn't inspired to grind, I certainly am now. I need that skin. That is gorgeous.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap up with some metagame stuff. The metagame is Ultron right now, especially in quick play. So here's some pick and win rate. Pick and win rate. Dude, it's late. Pick and win rate stats. Here we go. So right now, all we have is Rivals meta, of course, because he was not in Season 2.0. So at comp, at all ranks, we have a 41.69% pick rate. And a 52.34% win rate. The fact that he's at a 41% pick rate, everyone who is picking him is relatively new to playing him, and he's at 52%. Ultron, good. He's very good. That's in comp. That's not quick play. And in fact, as you go up ranks, he ends up being picked slightly less. He ends up being like a 30% pick rate, which is still insane.
And there's a ban tax on there too. There's a ban tax on there because a lot of people I've been hearing have been banning Ultron. So that's still insane.
Yeah, I can find it out for us, but he is getting banned. But I mean, the win rate goes up as you go up higher in rank, which is a really good sign for him too. Let's see, across all ranks he gets banned about 7% of the time. Yeah, it's like 8% of the time Grandmaster and above. So I mean, he's not even being played all the time because you're getting banned. But how often is Iron Man getting banned? That's what I want to know. Iron Man is getting banned 24%.
Yeah. And I think that that's because that's the thing is he's also taking a ban tax from Iron Man because I think people are partially banning Iron Man thinking that they'll ban Ultron too. Like,
or at least just without
doing that.
People,
exactly. Yeah.
100%. And then the other thing I wanted to point out really quick is his team up. So the Rivals Meta will also rank the team ups, and the win rates on the team ups are significantly higher than on the characters, which makes sense because it's a synergy, right? Like it's a synergy that, like, theoretically, if you were playing those characters, they have their win rate. But if you are playing both of them and they're getting an extra ability, that should increase their win rate quite a bit. The Ultron Iron Man team up is sitting at the 4th highest win rate team up for this season at 61.35%. And it's being picked 17.4% of the time. So
hold on a second. I know this is all about Ultron, but what the frick just happened? Wait a minute. Okay, what did I just experience here? What did I click on? Okay, never mind. I almost had a full breakdown right now because I thought I saw Black Widow as S tier in like top 5 win rate for a second. What did I click?
That was still a fever dream.
But my gosh, it is! In quick play, she has a 57.76% win rate, and she's S tier on their list. Goodness. Holy crap!
Why are there so few matches?
How weird. Something's weird about this.
They're missing a bunch of matches right now.
Okay. Well, anyway. All right. Sorry to sidetrack everybody, but that was just too wild.
What is interesting? But earlier today, I was looking at it, and they didn't have this match problem where they're missing a bunch of things. In the team ups, this also isn't related to Ultron, but just because we were talking about the Ultron team up, in competitive, the Guardians res comp of Adam, Star-Lord, and Mantis, if you have all 3 of them, that team up is sitting at a 65% win rate.
Oh gosh!
But the pick rate is like less than 1%. Like, people don't do it, but when they do it, they win. Like, I want to try that again.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about Ultron.
Yeah. Anyway, Ultron. He good.
He what do you pick him for, Josiah?
Other than the fact
he's the only thing you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been insta-locking him almost every game, but I think he's great in a variety of team comps. Honestly, I think when Brawl starts coming back a little bit, he's gonna be even better by just having that 30 meters of range on his healing that's consistent at all times, as long as he's able to keep line of sight, which is of course easier because he's a flyer. We didn't even freaking mention this, and this is so core to who he is, but by existence, he is the only strategist that has built-in anti-dive because he's a flyer. Like, he just negates certain heroes altogether and makes it very hard for other heroes to do anything against him. So right now, I think he's just good always. The only exception to that, I would say, is maybe if your other healer is like also full straight up utility, like Ultron and Mantis. Ooh, that would be tough.
I was gonna say you need a lifeline. That's kind of the one thing that locks him in, is like, you need to make sure that your other strategist is a mainline healer. Like, you're not playing him with Adam. Like, Adam and Ultron is the only strategist. Like, I've seen a couple games like that, and we just die instantly all the time. And it's like, great.
That being said, do not listen to people who spout the nonsense that, Ultron is a 3rd strategist pick only. Absolutely not. Yeah, I've played tons of games as the 2nd strategist and freaking out healed my other strategist at times. He's not. With that mentality, sure. But if you are playing him like a strategist, you don't have to worry about that.
Right. But you do want to make sure that you're not the one that is completely responsible for keeping everyone alive, because you only have so much you can do in that capacity. So you probably want a lifeline, but other than that, I mean, honestly, he just feels like he's always a good pick right now. And the
Yep.
stats bear that out because 41% of us, there's no way we all have any idea what we're doing.
Right.
And he's still winning 52+% of the time, which is insane.
As my true last thing that I'll say about him related to that, the weird thing about that to me is this feels paradoxical to say, but I don't feel like there's anything about him that's overpowered. Like, so that win rate is really odd. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and claim that it is due to the environment of the game right now more than just him specifically and anything in his kit being so good. Whereas Rocket's win rate, Rocket's gonna get a nerf for sure. But I don't think that, even though Ultron has a higher win rate, I don't think that Ultron and Rocket are on that same playing field. Does that make sense?
Well,
what do you think?
He doesn't have a higher win rate than Rocket.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No one but Penny has a higher win rate than Rocket.
Right. Okay.
But he is sitting at the 6th highest win rate in comp, behind Penny, Rocket, Mr. Fantastic, Magic, and Storm.
Right.
Honestly, I think a lot of it right now has to do with the fact that the devs really warped the balance of the game around his release.
Yeah.
Buffing all the things that he loves and nerfing into the ground all the things that he already counters and things like that. They kind of warped it around. These games are going to be played in a way that sets him up for success. So I think, I mean, there might be something that they have to tweak. We'll see. Just because of the ridiculously high play rate being mixed with such a high win rate, theoretically, if half the player base is playing him, he shouldn't be doing that well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I think if they took a light hand and adjusted the meta around him, like they did this time for him, I think we could see him just kind of settle in where he's still a really good pick, but isn't picked all the time.
Yeah. Well, Nick, I mean, breathe it in, brother. You get to experience being right. You made the joke about how crazy would it be if we get into this season and Jeff and Ultron. I mean, Jeff may not have the stats for it right now, but
still, you got me curious. I gotta look at Jeff.
Ultron is dominating. Jeff's getting cool guy videos about being
better than people think,
being way better than people think. So
Jeff's still hanging out at 48, but that is a 4% improvement from where he was last season. So I'll take the Jeff as a win. Actually, in quick play, he's showing up at 55% win rate too. It's you know what it is their stats. They don't have a lot of quick play games. We discovered that last week.
Yeah, that's right. We did say that. I think you commented on that. Cool.
No, I want him to be good, and I want Jeff to be good too. So I'm excited to see it. Sadly, we couldn't bring Thor along for the ride, but
he'll find his way. He'll fix it.
I guess my thought is related to that is let's remember this next season when they make 2 or 3 changes and introduce a hero that we're not sure about and seems weird to us that they hit on 2 out of the 3 of them that people were sure were all going to be really bad. And hopefully they'll fix Thor in a mid-season patch or something. But yeah,
100%.
All right, well,
just let him cook.
Yep. Let's get to our Reddit take of the week, or takes of the week, I guess. All right, so to wrap up, we got a few different Reddit takes this week. A couple that are just fun, and then one little discussion piece. But the first one here is a screenshot someone showed Marcus. No, that's an N. That's an R and an N. Renarchus. Renarchus, yes. Says, "Are you kidding me? Making me play another 40-minute round for that last point." He's showing the Ultron prize panel, and he's got all of his 10 games done, and he's sitting at 1999 points to get that emoji.
And guess what? Renarchus, your next game is going to be a loss.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to play another one.
Yeah.
Again.
There is only one comment on this. This was pretty recent, right when we loaded this up, or at least at the time that I opened this page, there was only one comment.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about implementing ranked win-loss kind of stats into events. That when I lost my third game that I played, I was like, ooh, that kind of feels bad.
I like it. I like it because it's an emoji and not a skin. I think skins need to be. I think the way that they've set the events up, skins need to be something that everyone can get. But I mean, it's awesome for them every once in a while to put something in an event.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you did well at this. Like the big head titles, right? Like that was a good one too. That like I'm not mad that I didn't get a big head title for every single.
No. That for some reason feels different to me. I guess. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think it's just because you really want this emoji, right?
Like, I really want this emoji. And I don't want it bad enough that I'm going to play 10 freaking hours of this. So if I'm not close, I'm 100% going to, like I said, I like the game mode. I just like, it's just so freaking long. So I'm 100% going to play 10 games. If I'm not like very close after 10 games, I might have to pass on it, but sure. I'm hoping that I win. I think I will. I think I'll probably win most of them. So
yeah,
we'll see. Watch. Now I eat my words and then I lose all 7 of my next
games.
Like
7 points by the time.
Yeah.
Then the next one we've got here uses that amazing Norman Rockwell,
I love this image,
like Abe Lincoln picture. Just says, "I like Ultron Matrix." He's standing up, telling the truth. And they just say, as someone who plays a lot of teamfight tactics in League, I like this game mode. Totally get that the game mode is for a niche type of gamer, though, and I don't fault anyone for not wanting to sit down locked into a game mode that lasts 30 plus minutes in a game where most games are 15 minutes max. I just appreciate the devs trying something. It definitely does feel like a first version of something, but I'd love to see the devs continue to work on it.
Yep.
That's by Soft Cryptographer 311. That sums up my feelings exactly. Like
same.
I'm the person that does want to sit down for this game mode, and like, would I prefer that they get the exact same experience in 20 minutes? Sure, but I don't think you can do it by shortening, like by doing less rounds. You kind of need that many rounds to get the thing that you're building going. They'd have to completely change like how many cards you need for everything and all that, and it would fights wouldn't be as grand at the end and stuff. So that's why my hope is just that they add some sort of, if they bring this back some other time, they add some sort of ready up mechanic where you can move on if everyone's ready, rather than waiting a whole minute in between every single one.
I'd be okay with them doing some rebalancing around how, you don't want to lose the grandness of the fights, and there is a really good, they really did nail the feeling of like build crafting in this little event. Like, I don't want to lose that, but I feel like maybe there's some balancing that could be done to kind of like accelerate that a little bit, to not end up needing to have 30 rounds, I think that's the thing that like 30 freaking rounds was my first game.
See, and that's the thing that I like. That's what's so hard. Is that like a lot of the people who play these auto chess games, they like the fact that they get deep into this thing and their build really develops over time.
And like, I get it. I respect it.
They could easily give you 30 health and have it end at round 20. But like, I would be very sad that like I didn't get to the point where Bucky was getting 10 kills every single time. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't get there in that time. But
yeah.
But this is where I saw the people who really didn't like it. Like, someone says, in my opinion, this is one of the most boringly depressing games I've ever played. Like, there are definitely people who do not like it. There's people saying like the sprays are cool and I want to get the spray, but I'm just trying to like get through this as fast as I can, stuff like that. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely for certain people.
Okay, we should confirm this. I was mentioning while we were playing, I was like, I love that the Ultron beam does literally no damage. And someone in here says, just answer me this. Does firing the little lasers Ultron actually do anything? And the response says, I think it does a whopping 1 damage. I would like to find out, because I thought it was nothing. I would like to find out, is it nothing or is it 1?
And the guys I had been seeing were saying it's really good for taking out like Loki lamps and stuff like that. But it seemed like I'm not sure that it really does anything. Like I have been religiously hitting Loki lamps with it every time, and after 2 shots, but I think that's just the Loki lamp running out.
Yeah, right. Oh man. All right, on to our last Reddit take, breaking away from the Battle Matrix protocol. This one is from Asparagus17540, and they say, which characters do you call by their superhero name and which do you call by their civilian names? And they have a wonderful tier list of starting with like characters that of course they call them by their name. People like Groot, like what else, Mantis, Jeff, and things like that.
Yeah. Penny Parker.
Yeah. Right. And then going down to like Cloak and Dagger, second to last, like I honestly forget their civilian names, and then Hulk with there's an actual gameplay problem if you name them wrong. which is funny because dude, when I read this one, when I read the top comment, I died because one of the things that I think is really fun about this is just like in every zombie media thing, everyone comes up with their own word for zombies. Like I love hearing different game groups words and like names that they come up with. Like ours, funny enough, for Hulk, like we say puny banner a lot.
I said it immediately, and then we found out that was officially what he was called in game.
Right. Well, and it was funny because like you kill the Hulk and he turns to Bruce Banner, and on chat we'd be like, puny banner. And we had someone in our Discord, in our Marvel Rivals Discord, who was, I don't know if you were on with us that night, but he was playing with us and he was like laughing. He was like, puny banner. He's like, that's so silly. And then like halfway through the game, he's like, wait, that's actually a great call out.
I wasn't there for that. No.
Yeah. And like with Mr. Fantastic, we say like wide read. He's wide. He's wide. But the top comment on this post that like I literally, if I had a drink, I would have spit it out. I literally spit when I read it. Just some reason it hit me so good. The top comment is, I hear rats. I don't know why this is so funny to me. I hear rat as a call out for Rocket occasionally. And I laugh every time. Rat alt when they want a focus amplifier. Rat dead after they've killed him. It's something just so disrespectful. Rocket already hates being called a raccoon. Just taking the next step and calling him rat. I don't know why. Oh my gosh, I'm literally crying right now. Oh, there's tears in my eyes. That was so funny to me.
This other one. I like this other comment here that says, there's something deeply unhinged and hilarious to me about being able to say, be careful, Johnny. Ben is about to throw James. And it's technically a valid and helpful call.
Oh my gosh.
To which someone else responds underneath, taking it to its fullest extreme. Be careful, Jonathan. Benjamin is about to throw James.
Oh my goodness. I love this so much. I don't know why I'm like, man. Yes, it is 2:30 in the morning right now, but I am freaking dying. This is so funny to me.
I do like this person pointing out with Cloak and Dagger, because the tier list in the meme mentioned like they don't even remember what their names are. Yeah, and someone said like, I'm surprised that people can forget Dagger's name when everyone like says it constantly, right? Everyone's like Tandy Bowen.
Yeah.
But then someone comments on that and says, yeah, but you're gonna find more people calling Tandy Cloak than you'll find people calling Cloak Ty.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've heard people just like call him Dagger and call her Cloak is ridiculous.
Right. Oh man, just one last one. Calling Venom Eddie is a crazy thing. Freaking Eddie's out here. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Jefferson the Shark.
Jefferson the Shark. Yeah. I do say Jeffrey. I do say a couple. I'll say Steven. I feel like when I'm mad at characters, I'll use their their given name. I'll say Steven for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, the biggest one that happens for us in our group a lot is people end up getting mixed up on. Well, I did it earlier in the episode, getting mixed up with Scarlet Witch and Black Widow callouts, and saying Scarlett Johansson and meaning Scarlet Witch, and then saying Scarlet Witch and meaning Black Widow.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man. Well, that is it for episode 19 of our podcast. Thanks as always for tuning in. And if you'd like even more Friends and Rivals content, consider joining us over on Instagram at Friends and Rivals, on X at Friend Rival Pod, or on Discord via the link in the show notes. If you've got a question you'd like us to answer in our next episode, drop it in our Discord chat, in the comments on Spotify for this episode, or send it directly to our Gmail. Or, leave us a review so we can thank Night Goblin again and continue that saga.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We will see you in the multiverse.
See ya.